online devotees, you're able to see the screen. Robert, you can see?
Yes, I can. Yep.
Okay, great. So I'm just telling the outline. So if you have Bhagavad Gita copy with you, you can have the copy. So I'll just explain this. So this is chapter, what happened? Chapter 2. So verse number of 1 to 10. So Arjuna's indecision and accepting Lord Krishna as his guru is what happens. No? So the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, this chapter is also called Vishad Yoga, because Arjuna had that crisis. So the first chapter ends in Arjuna's crisis. So Arjuna became very indecisive about what to do, because he was not understanding whether he should fight or he should withdraw, because he was confused about his duties, whether he should do the duty as a warrior or he should be responsible member of the family and not hurt the family members, especially the Kuru elders like Dronacharya, Bhishma Pitama. They were like very respectable personalities, superiors. Dronacharya was his own guru, own teacher, who taught him all the archery skills. And Bhishma Pitama was like his grandfather. So both of them were very respectable personalities. So Arjuna was confused, whether I should fight or I should not fight. Should I do the duty towards my family of being, kind to them and not hurt them in any way, or should I do my duty as a Kshatriya, which is, should be done because they are on the side of irreligion. So that was the conflict was going on in the heart of Arjuna. So you remember I was telling last time. Do you remember anything from the last discussion of Gita, first chapter?
First chapter, we like at the end, Arjuna was confused whether to fight or not.
Yeah.
And so there were 5 points.
There are 5 reasons for Arjuna not. He gave 5 reasons. No? Can you explain that? Can you just tell one point?
I think the first one is compassion.
Compassion for his relatives. Yes.
Yeah. Second one is related to society.
Fear of. He had no enjoyment even if he becomes victorious.
Yeah.
Even if he becomes victorious, there is no enjoyment. That was another reason. Third reason.
Traditions will continue.
He will incur sin. Sin he will incur. So because if he is going to kill, such great personalities, he will incur sins. That's what he thought. For the fourth reason. Fourth reason, what you are trying to do.
Yeah. Whether those traditions.
Yeah. So family tradition will be, destroyed. There won't be proper protection for the women, and there will be Varna Sankara, unwanted progeny, and Shraddha will be not happening. So, elders will dwell in hell because they will not get proper Shraddha and they won't be, getting freed from the sinful reactions and all that stuff. So Shraddha is a specific process where you offer certain, worship to the Lord and some kind of sacrifice you do, so that your ancestors, those who died already, because their souls, they're still there somewhere. So if they have committed some sinful activity, they might be stuck somewhere. So just to help them go further, you have to do some Shraddha. It's a kind of ritual they do. It is there. In the Shastri, in the scriptures talks about it. So basically the point is that if Arjuna feels, if I kill all these, Kuru elders, then that tradition will not be passed down. So then the Shraddha and all that will be stopped. Correct? So all these rituals will be stopped. Correct? Like say, how we get all this, culture and this, the tradition and the values and everything? Because from our elders. If all elders are wiped off, then these kids will become spoiled. I mean, all the further generation will not have any kind of culture. They will not know all this sacrifice, how to do all this, traditional things. They won't know, and and many women will become widowed and they will not be protected. So then there will be unwanted progeny. So all that concerns they have. Right? So that was the fourth reason. And what was the fifth reason?
He was sad.
He became indecisive basically because of he became indecisive. He was so confused. So he just thought, maybe I'll not fight. He decided I'll not. So he gave 5 reasons for not fighting. Correct. So this is how the chapter 1 ends. Because Arjuna was confused. So we learned this thing that actually it's not that in our life, the setbacks, the crisis, the reversals, the problems, the calamities coming in our life, it's not that they're always inauspicious. No. I mean, you may say that, no, I don't want them, and it just takes my energy, it's so much toll on me. We don't want them, we don't like that. So but the point is that many times these reversals and these calamities, these problems and difficulties, this crisis is actually maybe a blessing in disguise, or you can make it blessing if you take shelter of Krishna, if you take shelter of the Lord. So Srila Prabhupada says, in one purport, he says that there is nothing auspicious in this material world. Like yesterday I was asking that question, that whether you want to go to C class jail, you don't answer. Whether you want to go to C class jail, B class jail, or A class jail, you'll give an option. But which jail you prefer? A class jail, like, you'll have nice high class treatment, you'll have nice room, maybe AC also, but
Jail is jail.
so you want which jail you want to?
Huh?
Which jail?
A nice jail.
A class jail?
Sure.
Or B class jail or C class jail?
I don't want to go to jail.
Yes. You don't want to go to jail. So if you're in jail, it's an inauspicious life. Right, no? Because when you're in jail, then your freedom is restricted. Of course, in Kali Yuga, I think one Maharaj was saying that when devotee was telling, he came from UK, he was saying that in UK the jails are so good. Sometimes those fellows, they want to stay in jail because the accommodation is good, food is good, and they're having nice treatment. They don't have to work, so they're more happy in jail. Come out, then they have to struggle. So they're telling sometimes they want to stay in jail. So I'm not talking about this distorted jail or prison. I mean actual prison. So the life in prison house is inauspicious. Yes, it is inauspicious. Correct, no? So same way, every activity in our material life, whatever, say you get good job, it's auspicious or inauspicious? If you get, if you have very nice health, auspicious or inauspicious? No?
I guess it's
Inauspicious. Okay. If you get a very good wife who is very cooperative, supportive, and completely obedient, and and supportive in all aspects. So auspicious or inauspicious?
good questions.
Huh? That is auspicious. Wealth. You get good wealth. You're flourishing in your business. Huh? But having good wife is auspicious.
Good questions.
Huh?
I mean, sorry,
Good questions.
The point what I'm saying is that
Good wealth.
See, the auspicious and inauspicious is not on the merit of what you get or lose in this world. So if something helps us to attain the lotus feet of the Lord, that is auspicious. If something is not helping us, then it is inauspicious. So no activity in this material world on its own credit is auspicious or inauspicious.
Can we say any one of those things?
If you have wealth,
Really auspicious?
and if you're using it in, if it helps you in going closer to Krishna, that wealth is auspicious wealth. Right? Yeah, if you have a good wife who is supportive and cooperative and everything, and that helps you, to perform devotional service smoothly, peacefully, and go back to Godhead, auspicious. If you have a good job and promotion and everything, and it helps you to make good progress in Krishna consciousness, it's auspicious. But all of these are having no auspiciousness if you are not having anything to do with cultivating your Krishna consciousness or going closer to Krishna. So everything in this material world is inauspicious only. On that, in that context, Prabhupada said this, that in this material world, nothing is auspicious. Everything is inauspicious. So people are working so hard to get so much of fortune in this world. So inauspicious things. Because when it's inauspicious, when they have no goal of life, when they have no purpose of taking shelter of Krishna. Is this point clear? When you have no purpose of taking shelter of the Lord, then whatever activity you do is always inauspicious. And Prabhupada said this also, that even the most pious activity you do in this world, if it is devoid of devotion, the devoid of Krishna consciousness, that is sin. In that broad sense, it is sin. Why? Because it's not pleasing to Krishna. It's not, that activity is not oriented towards going closer to Krishna. So you're living a life which is in the material world, and You're continuing here. So that means you're still continuing your presence in the prison only, perpetually. So if you do a pious activity, like you could give charity, you know, do selfless social service and all that, but there is no sense of God consciousness. Then you have to again come back to this material world. You will not go back, correct? No? So now in that context, it is said, if reversals come, if difficulties come in our life, but amidst those difficulties and reversals, if we are taking shelter of Krishna, if it helps us to take shelter of Krishna, then that reversal is very auspicious. That's actually blessings. Like Narada boy, you know, his mother died when he was a small boy. It's a curse of blessing. He took it as a blessing because that helped him to go further towards north, and then he was meditating upon the Supreme Lord, and he attained perfection of life. So now anyone's death is an auspicious considered, right? Especially someone's near and dear one. And for Narada boy, mother was all in all, but he took it as a blessings. Why he took it as a blessings? Because he was already associated with Bhaktivedantists and he had already had understanding of the purpose of life. But he would have become overly attached to mother and would have probably not become so serious in Krishna consciousness, probably. Because he was very attached, mother was attached to him, and he was also very much dependent on mother. So probably he would have not immediately taken up that serious step of meditating and becoming closer to Krishna. So Krishna knew that what is going to make him serious. So Krishna just took away the mother. The snake bit and she died. And then he was helpless. What to do next? And then he had that understanding that the goal of life is to actually be Krishna conscious and I should attain the Lord. That he had understanding. So then he took it as a blessing, Krishna's arrangement, and then he went towards north to search God, to meditate on the Lord, and then he eventually became Narada Muni, a great sage, devotee, a preacher, who is perfected being. He has a spiritual body. You're getting this point, no? So here Arjuna also is into crisis, but why Arjuna's crisis is also not bad, because that crisis led him to take shelter of Krishna deeply. And that's how Arjuna became victorious. His life became auspicious. Correct, no? So in this world, many times people will not so much talk about, oh, bura ho gaya, things have been so bad to that person. This person lost his relative, that person lost his money, somebody lost his, say position, job or something like that. So all that people consider to be inauspicious. Somebody loses his health, correct? But for a life of for a devotee, there is no auspiciousness. Because a devotee has only one goal. What is that goal? Yeah, to go closer to Krishna. So when you have kept that goal, then in every situation of life, what do you want to take? You want to take deeper shelter of Krishna. And sometimes what happens when things are going very good, we may be more cozy. So sometimes when reversals come, then we take much deeper shelter of Krishna. So that's why it becomes very auspicious. So reversals sometimes bring more auspiciousness to the life of devotee. Sometimes happens like that. Of course, devotee's life can otherwise be auspicious. If he's regularly taking shelter of Krishna, regularly doing his devotional service, fine. But sometimes Krishna may see that, okay, there is something I need to accelerate. He's not doing on his own. So maybe Krishna may sometimes arrange certain situations. Sometimes it may happen. So we should not get disheartened. We have to know when we are practicing Krishna consciousness. So Krishna knows exactly how what my position, what my situation is, and Krishna exactly understands that how we can actually come more and more closer to him. So Krishna knows that. So Krishna may arrange accordingly. So we have to have that faith and clarity that there is nothing inauspicious, because everything is sent by Krishna. When I'm having the goal to go back to him, when I'm having a goal to become Krishna conscious. So then those crises also we should take it as a it is coming from Krishna. So when something comes from Krishna, like say the flower, if I give you from Krishna, from altar to you give, so it's prasadam that day he was sending, right? The food is offered to Krishna. If you take fruit or food which is was with Krishna, now you are taking this prasad, right? The same way when the reversal of misery also comes, so devotee takes it as a prasad. It's a mercy of Lord. Why? Because Lord has some intention to make you serious in Krishna. When Srila Prabhupada was trying to, maintain his business, but he had a very burning desire to fulfill the order of his guru, to come to the West and preach. But he was having his business and he was had to maintain family. So you know what happened? Prabhupada's business collapsed. His factory caught fire, there were thievery, and everything was collapsing. Prabhupada tried so much to save it, but it just collapsed. And Prabhupada saying, what's happening? And then he thought, reflected, he understood. He told, it's a special mercy of Krishna. Because ordinarily I would have not been able to maybe give up. Of course, Prabhupada's humility, he was saying like that. But Krishna forced him. So he said, Krishna forced me to come out of that situation. And then I could take more responsibility for mission of my Guru.
Spread his knowledge.
Spread this knowledge. Yeah. So sometimes devotee may be a little helpless. I have to maintain the family also, business also, no, and I have to fulfill our desire of Guru also. So he's trying to balance out, he was in that mood. But then, and then he's not able to understand how to go ahead further. But he's praying to Krishna, Krishna, please help me. And then Krishna, how he helps? Business collapse. Then you get good reasons to know what we can do. Now we have to just give to Krishna, like that. You understand this point? So Krishna, so Prabhupada says that Krishna helped me. So by taking away his business, he helped me. Then same way, Srila Prabhupada's wife, no? So Prabhupada, so once she sold Bhagavad Gita manuscript to some, Radhiwala, Radhiwala? Trash man. The trash collector. In India, there are trash collectors. Yeah. So they will collect the trash from your house, no? And so she gave those manuscripts to that person, and with that money, she wanted to purchase some biscuits and tea. Like that. So Prabhupada was so disgusted, what is this? No, I wrote this and she just sold it this way. And then Prabhupada was a little annoyed and he said, you want me or tea? She said tea. Jokingly she said, I want tea. And Prabhupada left and he took one prastham. That was the last day he went. He left his family, So he got the reason. So his wife was good. She was devoted. She was pious and she was kind of devotee. But she was not like how Prabhupada was like, completely missionary and he wanted to preach and spread. So that way he was not getting that cooperation. So and Prabhupada was told by his father, it's good that, so Prabhupada said sometimes he did not like his wife. So his father said to him, it's good that you don't like your wife because that will be easy for you to detach eventually. His father told him this point, And Prabhupada said, somehow or other, I did not like my wife. So then, and she was not that cooperative the way Prabhupada expected. But anyway, so Prabhupada, you see in Prabhupada's life also, apparently there are a lot of failures. But all these failures are also auspicious. Because it actually helped Prabhupada to go more and more towards Krishna and serving his Guru. Towards service of Krishna. We're getting this point, right? So Arjuna is also having crisis. So crisis is not inauspicious just because it is crisis. Because Arjuna is with Krishna, and now you see Arjuna is going to take shelter of Krishna. And his whole life is going to become very, very auspicious. Like that. So we don't have to worry about problems in our life. We don't have to worry about calamities and reversals. We cannot stop them much. We cannot do much. You can do little bit, but you cannot do much. But one thing you can surely do. What you can do surely? You can take shelter of Krishna. That is in your hand. That you can do. And that way you can turn every inauspicious thing into auspicious. Apparently inauspicious thing, every apparent inauspicious happenings in your life, you can turn into auspiciousness. So one nice example I can give you, like say, there is water, ocean, ocean is there. There's so much of ocean of water. I mean, the ocean is better for water there. I mean, of course, there is an ocean of different milk and honey and Bhagavatam described, but there's an ocean of water. So now, think of like this. Say the water. Say consider water is like negativities or inauspiciousness. Let's say consider that. And taking shelter of Krishna is like being on the boat. Taking shelter of Krishna is like being on the boat. Okay. So when you are taking shelter of Krishna, then you're on the boat. So same negativities like the water is actually going to facilitate you, because that water only helps, right, to take the boat across the ocean. Correct? But imagine you allow that negativity to come in, the inauspiciousness to come in the sense that you're not firmly taking shelter of Krishna.
So you're not saying no.
Then that boat will drown, correct? That means but if you don't allow the negativity to come in, but you take shelter of Krishna deeply, the same negativity will actually help you to sail across the whole ocean. You getting this point, Om? You understand this point? So one thing we learn the lesson here is that in our life, we don't have to worry too much about certain things which are not in our control. What all things are not in our control?
How people react.
How people react on this. Is it in our control? No. Like for Arjuna, same situation. Pandavas did not want to fight, but these fellows are bent upon fighting, you see. So much they tried. Don't fight. Krishna also went, but no, I want to fight. We don't want to give you, the village which is, 5 villages also we don't. 5 villages they were asking. 5 villages we can give. We will rule. We will satisfy. You take the entire kingdom. They said no. Duryodhana told, I will not give you the land which fits the point of the needle also. That much land also I don't want to give you. He was so envious. See, so there was no option but to fight. So how people are going to react? It's not in your hand. Very good. What else is not in our hand? Huh? Natural calamity, suddenly some, earthquake comes. Can you confidently say in Boston earthquake will not come? Can you say that? No, we are talking here. Suppose, land expands and we just get into samadhi only. It's possible. And it has happened. So it can happen. Some terrorists may attack. Some bomb may attack. Bombing may happen. You never know. So these are not in our control. What else, bro? Some day-to-day life challenges. How people are going to, deal with us or interact. React to us. So that is one thing which is not in our control. Yeah, results of our action, correct. That we are going to discuss that more in detail. So result of our action is not in our control. Correct. You can endeavor, but you cannot say that, no, I did it, so I have to get it. You cannot. So it's, especially you'll have good realization in America, because even if you're most qualified and your interview went well, you say everything, I answered all questions, still you will not be selected. And some fellow is selected without, he doesn't know how he got selected. So many boys come and tell me, they never knew how they got selected. So result is not in your hands. That's true. Result is in Krishna's hand. That we'll discuss elaborately later. Any other? Your health. Sometimes, you're doing everything right. You're doing one devotee in, Pune, that brahmachari do so much yoga. It will take a lot of, what is it? Shirshasana and Sarvangasana and so many, he will do nice yoga. So some good time, maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, he would do nicely. And he would keep, like once in a day, he would eat, like very balanced life, and yoga and things like that. And then in COVID time, he got sick so seriously. But many other brahmacharis, they never did yoga, nothing. They were not, many of them they never got any sickness during COVID also. They remained like intact, good, good. And this was one of the brahmacharis, he got such a severe, issue in COVID. He was not able to even chant also. He was just like lying and he has to chant in mind only. So he told, later he told, I was the person who was so much doing yoga, and I couldn't do anything about myself. But the many brahmacharis, they did not care much about yoga and all, but they were going on well. So these things are not in our hand. Even though you try all your things to keep your good health, but if your health has to go, it will go. Can't do much. Paralysis has to come, it will come. Cancer has to come, it will come. You may say, no, but I never smoke, I never did this. Yeah, you might have not done it, but that's not that, foolproof thing that, okay, you have not done this, so you'll not get. No, you can get. Correct? Of course, somebody is doing other things, likely he may get more. There are chances to get that he may get likely to get. There are more chances for him to get some disease. But you cannot say that if I'm doing everything right, I won't get disease. You can't say that. You cannot avoid. So you cannot avoid, diseases. You cannot avoid old age. You cannot avoid death. You cannot avoid people coming and behaving with you certain ways. Correct? You cannot avoid people hating you. You cannot avoid different kinds of events of life which you might have planned. This way should happen. Things can happen different ways. These things you cannot avoid. So we have to know one thing, that these many things in our life is not in our control. Actually, there's hardly things in our control. Most of the things you'll find that it's not in our control. Some little things in our control, like if I take this bottle and I think I'm the controller. I can open this bottle and I can drink it. And I think that I'm the controller of my life. Because I was thirsty, I just took the water, I drank it. I can control I'm in control. But if I want to lift it, if I get paralysis, suppose suddenly, is this in my control? No. And then I cannot lift. So this moment I lifted, next one I cannot lift, you see. There was one very famous singer. He was, very melodious. And one point of time, he lost his voice. How he lost his voice, he also doesn't know. Just lost his voice. And he became so helpless. And that was the thing, his whole life was based on singing. So he was a devotee. And then he was feeling very humbled because he thought I was very proud of my voice. I had sing so much and people have so much praises, and he became like a star. But then he felt so humbled and he understood I'm so helpless. And after some years, his voice came back. But then his singing was not with that mood. He was very much clear that I'm not the doer. It is Krishna only. You getting this point? So anyway, the point I'm telling is that so we don't have to worry about the events, what the way it will come in life, what kind of troubles I may get, what reversals will come. Because most of the time people have this anxiety only. There are a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety because of uncertainties in this world. Correct? But a devotee can live life carefree. Why? Because he knows he knows that I have a weapon of taking shelter of Krishna, which will make anything into auspiciousness. You getting? So let it come, whatever it has to come. I know what to do. I will take shelter of Krishna. When I am taking shelter of Krishna, then I am safe, and that inauspicious thing becomes auspicious for me. Rather, that accelerates my devotion. Yes, you'll go more deeper in devotions. You'll get deeper realizations. So sometimes reversals will make you more deeper. It will give you much more deeper realizations in Krishna Master. Yeah. Not always, but many times. Because sometimes ordinarily you're not so inclined to be so deep. Like once in Chowpatty temple, there was earthquake in Mumbai that time. Radhana Swami Maharaj was there with many of his devotees. And then Maharaj observed everything. And then he was giving Bhagavatam class that. Of course, no injury happened, nothing collapsed, but there was an earthquake. They all got shaken up or something. Then Maharaj told Bhagavatam class, I was desiring let this earthquake happens all the time. Let it go on. Because I saw the kind of intensity in all of your chanting today. Because ordinarily I find when you're chanting, some of you are dozing, some of you are sleeping, some of you are doing spaced out. But today I saw all of you are chanting so intensely. Then I thought, maybe this earthquake should continue because you're taking such deeper shelter. Because they were thinking what is going to happen and we are going to die, or because you cannot run also. If you're shaking and if you run, suddenly something happens. You have to just be there. It's beyond you. Just wait. What's going to happen? You're going to survive or not, right? That time you can just take shelter of Krishna. That's all. There was another incident. Radha was saying that there was one devotee. He was talking about diet. He was saying that I live on only raw things, and I take this thing and I don't get this disease, that disease. For many years, I have not got any disease. He was like talking so much and boasting about his lifestyle and, raw food and whatever, plant-based diet or something he was talking. And Radhanath Maharaj, he's my spiritual master, he was hearing, okay, fine. Okay. And then suddenly there was an announcement. So we have kind of facing some issue. So our plane has got kind of out of control. So we are trying our best. So please forgive us. It can have it may be some crash landing or whatever, we don't know. And when this was announced, Maharaj took the bead bag and he started chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. And he was peaceful. Intensely was chanting, but he was peaceful internally. And this fellow, he was so much frantic. Maharaj, you have been dietitian or whatever. Is it going to help you now? They said, no. Tell me what you are chanting. I'll take that. You look more peaceful. I will take up that now. So he got realization over this raw food and this and that's not going to help him now. Okay. So what Maharaj had the weapon. He just took shelter of the holy name and he was very peaceful. He knew I am in Krishna's hand. So he did not have any issue. So the point is that devotee can remain carefree. Why? Because he knows everything is in control of Krishna, and whatever is coming in my life is sent by Krishna. And third thing is, my duty is to take shelter of Krishna. So I can do my duty, I can do my part, right? And I have faith in Krishna that what Krishna is sending is, he's aware what he's doing with us. Like your parents, sometimes they slap you. Sometimes they may not give you some meal, but it was all purposeful. They're not hitting you. Maybe you're naughty, maybe they want you to reform certain ways, whatever. There may be some reasons to, right? So when you have trust in God, that whatever Lord is sending to us, there is a reason for it. It's not something random. Correct? So there is a meaning for every event in our life. So then you can be carefree. Then you can be carefree. And you know that what I need to do is, I need to take shelter of the Lord. Is this point clear? So here Arjuna, when he's taking shelter of the Lord, everything turns out to be auspicious. Before he was crying, and this depression and all that. But as soon as he took shelter of the Lord, everything turned out to be wonderful. He became victorious, confident. Nothing changed externally. Still, he had to fight the war. Still, the Bhishma Pitama and Dronacharya, they're all there against him. Everything was same in one sense. But what changed is Arjuna took shelter of Krishna. That's the only thing he changed. So in our life, this change has to happen. When situations of life are going on, we have to just turn ourselves to Krishna. When you do that, things become auspicious. And if you are not turning to Krishna, if you are away from Krishna, even though most wonderful things might be happening in your life, it's all inauspicious. Is this clear? It's fine. Okay. So I just give you the background. Now we'll go further. So now this 1 to 10, Arjuna's indecision and accepting Lord Krishna as his guru. This happened. So 1 to 3, Lord Krishna chastises Arjuna and disapproves his so-called compassion. 4 to 6, Arjuna's further doubts and confusion. 7 to 10, Arjuna surrenders to Krishna and Krishna begins to speak. Then 11 to 30, Krishna elaborately speaks about the knowledge of soul. He speaks about knowledge of soul. And we'll discuss more later. And then Krishna gives reason for Arjuna to fight. And he gives reasons at different levels. He gives reasons for fighting at different levels. So that I'm going to discuss. So he's going to give reasons. So that is like Sakam Karma. Then he'll talk about Karma Yoga platform. So it's like first he talks about Karma Kanda perspective. And then he talks about, later eventually he talks about. So first he talks about actually social pressure. Out of peer pressure, like social, what people will say about you, if you don't fight. So this like, just creating some kind of social pressure, that, social status. And then second thing was Karma Kanda. You will gain, or in any case, whether you fight or, if you fight, whether you win or lose, in both cases you are going to gain. And thirdly, he talks about the Karma Yoga region, where he talks about don't be attached to victory or defeat and all that he says. So I will discuss that more later. So that's what Nishkam Karma Yoga he talks about from 38 to 53. And then Arjuna asks this question to Krishna, that Krishna, you're telling me to fight, but I have a question. That when you're talking about such a person who is actually having this platform of Nishkam Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, or one who is self-realized, so whether such a person will fight, if somebody is really self-realized soul, is he really going to fight? So he had this doubt. He had some kind of question, right? So he was asking, what is the characteristic of a Sthita Pragya? Sthita Pragya means one who is self-realized. How does he sit? How does he walk? That's the question he asked. And then Krishna elaborately described. You can sit on the shade room, you don't know. Because it's a long session, so you'll be comfortable. You can sit on the shade. So any reflection till now? Robert, you want to say any point?
I think trying to take shelter and find my liberated soul is my goal right now.
Trying to take shelter of
Krishna.
Krishna, okay. And Yamini, you want to share any point?
No.
Okay. So she's my sister. She's my cousin, one of my cousins. Okay, so yeah, so now we will go to the Gita and we will see the verses. Okay, so you can open the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So all of you have the book. Robert, do you have the book with you?
No, I could try to find it online though.
Okay, I will share. What is it? Okay, I can take it. I can share the screen of one. But you can see the book also. This one is it.
Yep.
You're able to see?
Yep.
Hey, Gopal को आए नहीं. You're okay? Oh.
Yeah, I'm all right.
क्या हो?
Right.
कौन था? I'm not able to open it. Just give me a minute. I'm just opening one slideshow. Just 1 minute. Huh?
No part.
Kevin? How do you know? What did you say? Yeah, correct. This one I wanted to show. Okay. This was the chapter 1. Okay. So Arjuna is confused about his duty. And now Krishna begins this chapter. Okay. So chapter 2 I'm opening. So the first verse, he says, Sanjay said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna spoke the following words. So now Krishna is going to speak, and here Arjuna is full of compassion. So here in purport, Prabhupada writes some beautiful things. He says material compassion, lamentation, and tears are all signs of ignorance of the self. So when you are ignorant, when you are in ignorance, then only you have this kind of troubles of lamentations and having tears in eyes because of depression and material compassion. So all these things are because of ignorance, Krishna says. Prabhupada says in the purport. And then Prabhupada says that actually compassion for the body compassion for the body is actually the sign of ignorance. Because if suppose you are saving a person who is drowning, and after whole effort, and you say, I saved, and you come to your friend, I saved that person. You say, where is that person? And you show him the coat and shirt of that fellow. You say, but where is the person? No, I saved the coat and shirt. So person is drowned, only you got the coat and shirt. So same way, if you are only having compassion for the body of someone, but not knowing that actually the real person is the soul, right? So then it's not the real compassion. So there can be some protection and some service to the body, but one should not just limit that only to the body. One should understand the person is the soul, and the real compassion is actually directed towards the soul. So like in Krishna consciousness, we do take care of the bodies of devotees. We do take care of the devotees should have healthy mind and everything. But doing that, we don't forget to take care of the soul. Correct? But in outside world, what happens many times when they have no spiritual goal, when they have no spiritual understanding, when they're ignorance, so they will do so much. They will go to yoga studios. They have a lot of yoga, asanas, yoga, this yoga, that yoga. That's only for body and mind at most. But they have hardly any understanding about the soul, the self, as a real person and his connection with God. That understanding is not correct. So that's why this yoga is only for the bhoga, for material enjoyment. And for that, they want to preserve their body and mind good. Correct, no? So that they can have nice material life. But that's not the way what Gita is teaching. Gita is talking about actually the soul has its need to connect with God. And soul should be liberated from the cycle of birth and death, and should attain the kingdom of God. Right? So if your compassion is directed towards that, towards anybody, then that's the real compassion. And for that sake, you may take care of the body of that person also. I mean, you may give him food, you may give him some good, you can have nice dealings with him. But ultimately, you should not forget to give him the real medicine of having the knowledge, the transcendental knowledge, we should give them. And that will eradicate the ignorance. And we should give them the process of devotional service. That will eradicate the ignorance. Correct? That should happen. So that's what he says in the first chapter. So he says, Lord Krishna can dissipate the lamentation of ignorant man, and for this purpose, Bhagavad Gita is spoken. So the purpose of Gita is to break open the bottle of ignorance. Don't worry now. Get the tissue paper, people. Get the tissue paper. Yeah. Give it. Fast. Sufficient. Not so much. There are things to clean the temple. So, yeah. So I was saying, you have to cover many verses, bro. We are only first verse. So the whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to help us to come out of this ignorance. That's the whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita. The purpose of Gita is what? To eradicate our ignorance. And that's the real compassion. So that's the real compassion. The real compassion is to help the living entities to attain the shelter of the Lord, to attain the kingdom of God, to awaken their love for the Lord. So that's why when you give this message of Gita to anyone, that's a real act of compassion. And Bhagavad Gita is actually spoken by Krishna out of compassion for all the living entities. That's the whole purpose. So that people can take advantage of this knowledge, they can eradicate their ignorance, and they can attain the kingdom of God. They can get rid of the cycle of birth and death. Right? So that's why Bhagavad Gita is meant for delivering the soul from this miserable existence of birth and death. So, and then actually Krishna immediately starts scolding, chastising whom? Arjuna. In the second verse, what he says? Can you read? The Supreme Personality of Godhead.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to a higher planet, but to eternity."
Yeah. So now he's saying, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not all befitting a man who knows the value of life. See, Krishna is not telling Arjuna directly. So, what I was saying? Last point.
Second verse.
That was the last point. Yeah, so I was saying that here, Krishna is not pointing out to Arjuna directly. That he's not saying that you are bad, you are impure. He's not saying that. What he's saying, from where these impurities have come upon. From where these impurities have come upon. That means he's separating Arjuna's problem from Arjuna. And that's how a teacher should be. Teacher should not see the student as problem. He should see his problem separate from the student. You understand? And he should be able to see the potential in the student. Then only he can help him. Otherwise, he cannot. You know? So a teacher also can respect his students for the potential what he has. Getting this point? No? So this is important point to understand. So Srila Prabhupada, when he came to West, when he was teaching hippies, so he did not see the hippies like, hey, what kind of fellows they are? See, dirty fellows. No culture, nonsense. He did not think like that. Rather, he saw their potential. He said, oh, they have some kind of detachment from their family and yeah, and he saw them as part and parcel of Krishna. He saw them as part and parcel of Krishna. So, but he saw their potential. What is the potential? Because they are also part and parcel of Krishna. So Krishna consciousness is there, dormant in the heart of every living being. And that's what Prabhupada could see. So, so we should also have that kind of perspective when we are trying to spread this message. We have to see that, oh, they're all people who are actually Krishna's child. They're only lost. And somebody is lost, he can be lost to any extent. They may be doing all varieties of nonsense. But they're still a child. Just like a mother, when the mother sees somebody is in gutter, not somebody, his own child. So he has gone into gutter. He just just left the mother and somewhere and just roaming and got into gutter and become his whole existence has become so messy, and he's like kind of gutter water is getting in his mouth also. It's like so dirty situation, correct? But when mother sees the child, so what she will see? She will see is my child, and she will see that, oh, this child can be, brought back and he can be again good, right? So mother can take the child and purify it completely, and then have Johnson baby powder and everything, and take give the child good bath and have nice powder and then clothing, and he can be again good, correct or not, right? Because the child is itself his own child. The same way Krishna or the pure devotee, they see like that. They see every living entity very dear to Krishna, pure devotee. They see that, and they see they are actually great personality because they're all part and parcel of Krishna. They are dear to Krishna. So we may be disgusted with their habits, but we should not be disgusted with the person. Hate the sin, but not the sin. So that's what Krishna is teaching here. So that is the role of a coach or a teacher. A teacher should be able to see the potential in his students. He should be able to respect the innate good in them. Well, everybody has innate good quality because everybody is innate pure soul. There was an example like water coming from the sky is pure, right? When it falls on the ground, it becomes dirty. So, but the innate quality of water to be pure doesn't go away. Because if you have a nice purificatory process, then the original pure water can be retained back. Yes, if innate quality of the water of its purity is lost, then you cannot get it back. But it doesn't happen. It remains pure, even though it has become a gutter water. The innate purity is still there. You just need to purify it. And then again, that water can be used for even worship also, and can be used for drinking also, correct? Once it is purified. Does it make sense? Same way, every living entity, no matter how degraded he has become, but he has a potential to become a pure devotee. Again. So we should be very hopeful about us, and we should be hopeful about others also. It's just a matter of taking the process very seriously. So if you take the process of Krishna consciousness very seriously, you'll be cleansed. And same thing with others also, no matter how degraded they have become. If they somehow or the other take the process of Krishna consciousness very seriously, they will be purified. Does it make sense? So this is how we should understand. So he's saying that, no? So, okay, we'll go further. So Krishna is not labeling Arjuna, but questioning the incoming contamination. How this contamination has come, like that. So we have to, hold the hand of the person who is innate good. And we have to encourage him to fight against his impurities. This is how a student gets the feeling from a teacher. Not like they are rejected. So all the hippies, they never felt in any way Prabhupada rejecting them for any reasons. They always felt Prabhupada was always supporting and was there with them. So this is a very important point. Correct? No? This is how teacher is. So Krishna said, where does the weakness come from? He did not say that you are weak. This approach separates the emotion from the individual, reminding a strong person of their true identity. Yeah. So okay, let's go further. So there are two kinds of people, traitor and deserter. So the traitor means what? When the person goes for fighting, and then he will preach the loyalty, and he will join the other person. It's called traitor. And the deserter means he abandons fighting entirely, and then he's like coward. So he doesn't face only the crisis, and he will give up fighting. So see, traitor is sinful. It's a crime. So in the fighting, if you see the policy in terms when they're having fight, yeah. Okay. So then what I was saying? You came at 9 o'clock. 9:30, 10:30. 10:30. See the screen.
You posted it later.
No, in the main schedule also it is 10:30. Yes. 9 is only for that weekend. Only for that weekend. If you see the Excel sheet, Excel sheet is 10:30. Okay, I have recorded for you. Don't you? You can hear the record. We'll have questions also.
How many verses have you gotten back?
It's not about verses. We have discussed, very important points to be able to understand this chapter properly. So before verses, there are a lot of things to understand.
Okay.
It's not just introduction. It is the very important vital part. Not even summary.
And how do you describe background?
It's like first your mother feeds you, takes care of you, and then you sends you to school, right? So you have to become that much equipped. So that's how we first made this discussion, so that we can understand. So anyway, so what I was saying, the point, last point. Yeah. So deserter. So the thing is, see, if somebody is changing the party, it is criminal, right? But if somebody has gone for fighting and he gives up, he says, no, I'm not going to fight. It is more criminal actually. You know why? Because if you change the party, okay, this fellow has changed the party, then you can make, of course, both are sinful only. But why deserter is also sinful? Criminal, because the whole strategy is depending upon that, every person count, every person is, is when it's counting on. So if he says I'm not going to fight, then whole strategy may fail. You know, because very challenging. So not fighting also is crime. So when you have gone for battle, then you cannot say I'm not going to fight. You can't say that. So both are sin, both are criminal. Yeah, I mean the traitor sometimes before only he announces I'm changing the party. So that way it's criminal, but not that. But suppose you have agreed, you're going for fighting, and then you have said I'm not going to fight. Then strategy is spoiled. Then it's become more criminal. Correct? No, you understand this point? Yeah. Of course, it's changing the party. That time only is a different thing. That both are kind of equal. But he says I'm not going to fight only. Then it is deserter. So here Arjuna, when he's saying I'm not going to fight, so in which category is going to come? Yeah, in that category is coming. So that is also criminal. That. So that's why Krishna is scolding also. So here one of the things Prabhupada writes here is that Krishna here addresses Bhagavan, Shri Bhagavan Vacha. So Prabhupada brings out this point here that there are three features, no? Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So the three divine aspects can be explained with the example of the sun. So there's sunshine, sun surface, and sun planet itself. So absolute truth also can be understood in three levels, no? At the platform of Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. So Brahman is like sunlight. Then sun disk is like Paramatma, and entering into the sun planet and meeting the Vivaswan and other people who are there in the sun planet, that is actually Bhagavan aspect. That's what it says. So one who studies the sunshine only is the preliminary student. One who understands the sun's surface is further advanced. And one who can enter into the sun planet is the highest. You getting this point, no? So why he is explaining? Because here Shri Bhagavan Vacha has come. So why Bhagavan? So what is Bhagavan? So Bhagavan means Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is beyond Paramatma Brahman and Paramatma. He is Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is the ultimate realization of the Supreme Personality of God. Some people think God to be impersonal, but that impersonal Brahma Jyoti is very preliminary understanding of God. So God's energies are impersonal, yes, but beyond the energy, impersonal energy, there is energetic person. So Paramatma is more like yogis who meditate in their heart, and they don't have active relationship with the Lord in that state. They can perceive Paramatma in their heart. They can see that this Paramatma within every atom, in between atoms. But they are not having that much love to be able to reciprocate with the love of with the Lord in love so much. So when they have full realization of God, that is Bhagavan, where they can actually have loving pastimes also with the Lord. So it's called Bhagavan aspect. So full realization of God. It's like the realization of sun, you can have a different level. At the level of sunshine, at the level of sun disk, at the level of entering into the sun planet and understanding there is Vivaswan and people there. All that way Prabhupada explained. So it says here, there are many personalities possessing the qualities of Bhagavan, but the Krishna is the supreme person because none can excel him. He is the supreme person, and his body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is the primal Lord Govinda and the cause of all causes. Another thing is that Krishna is not some kind of incarnation. Krishna is called Avatari. All the other incarnations are called Avatar, but Krishna is Avatari. Where it is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, it says, Ete Chamsa Kala Pumchan Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Where is that? Yeah.
Ran away.
Ete Chamsa Kala Pumchan Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Indrani Vakulam Rekam Vrijanti Yuge Yuge. So it says that among all this list, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. When the list of incarnations given in second canto, then it says that Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. The Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of God. And Brahma Samhita also confirms this. It says that how there is an original candle, from there you can lit many other candles, but there is still one original candle. Though luminous intensity of all the candles is same, but there is original candle also. So Prabhupada describes that in purport. So how Bhagavan aspect is the highest realization, and also Krishna is the Supreme Personality, not only Supreme Personality, his original Supreme Personality of God. Original means from him all the other incarnations also come. Like that. So, and then third verse. O son of Pratha, do not yield to this. You can read. Yeah, chastiser of the enemy. So, give up this degrading importance. It's chastising with the strong words, Do not yield to this degrading importance. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart. Says that. So, Prabhupada says towards the end that such false magnanimity was not approved by any authority. Therefore, such magnanimity or so-called non-violence should be given up by persons like Arjuna under the guidance of Krishna. So, this is also an important point that our so-called virtue should be guided. Arjuna is trying to be very magnanimous and saying, I'm not going to fight. But it is not authorized. It is not authentic because Krishna did not like that. Krishna did not want that. You get this point, no? So there was one person, he was propagating non-violence. He was saying non-violence should be the dharma. Ahimsa paramo dharma. So we should always be non-violent. So then there was a ISKCON sannyasi. So he was arguing with him. That Arjuna, Krishna is telling Arjuna to have violence. It's bad. So he was criticizing Gita. He was criticizing, Krishna. He was saying non-violence should be there. So he was saying it's a value, non-violence. So he was value-wadi, non-violence wadi, ahimsa-wadi. So then that sannyasi told to that Guruji, and he had some lady disciples also. He said, if one of your lady disciples, some man comes in the street and he tries to exploit her, does some nonsense to her. So will you be non-violent or you will do some violence? Will you take some action or you will just remain non-violent? What will you do? Then he thought for a while because it was challenging his own philosophy. That is non-violent. Then he thought for a while and he said, no, I will not take any action. I will be non-violent. And then lady disciple screamed at him, what? I reject you. No, I don't want to be your disciple. So he was exposed. So actually our virtue, whatever we have, it should be authentic. It should be guided by the Guru Sadhu Shastra. Sometimes we have our own idea of and our value system, but our value system is not all in all. Our value should be in line with what Guru Sadhu Shastra also. That we should be very careful. You getting this point? What I'm saying? Yeah. Like say tolerance. Yeah, we should be tolerant. But let's say somebody comes, and enters the temple room and tries to harm the deity. Will you be tolerant? No. We should be tolerant. Not do anything. Let me do whatever you want to do. No. It's bogus. We cannot. We have to protect. We may have to sometimes attack also. In case he is attacking the deities, we may have to defend. And while defending, we may have to sometimes even push him. Correct or not? Right? So that's the duty of Kshatriya. Kshatriya has to protect. So it is not that the value is all in all. So value should have a purpose. The purpose of pleasing Krishna. If it is not pleasing Krishna, it is not aligned with God, then we are not attached to the value. It came at the right time. Did you come to know about the class?
Sorry?
Did you come to know about this session?
No, I'm just.
So you just came.
Yeah.
So you got this point. So here Arjuna is becoming magnanimous on his own terms, right? But Krishna is not approving that magnanimity. So like that. Another example I'll tell you. Karna was, he was becoming Mitravadi. Mitravadi means he was like, हमने तो नमक खाया है दुर्योधन का. I have eaten the salt of Duryodhana. How can I give up my friendship? At the time of crisis, he helped me. So how can I give up my friendship? It will be, it will be immoral. But Krishna is telling, but this fellow is terrorist. You come, and you come at the side of virtue. Pandavas are so virtuous, but he couldn't because he said, no, friend, he's my friend. Because when I was in crisis, he helped me. Actually, the Duryodhana whole plan, even when he was helped first time also, Karna was that he wanted to use Karna. He knew he's a Karna who can actually really give a big combat with Arjuna and others because he's not an ordinary warrior. He's a very powerful warrior. So he had that exploitative mentality to use Karna by giving him that help. You getting? So imagine, suppose, somebody lands up in some terrorist camp, a small child, and those terrorists take care of that child very well because they know this fellow is going to be a very powerful person. He can be a very powerful person. He's very trainable and all. And these terrorists do a lot of help, care for him, nurture him, give all facilities, and this grows up. And then they say, now you have to kill everybody. You understand? So as soon as the child realizes that they are terrorists, he should be there with them or he should give up. Or he should feel gratitude. He should not feel that kind of gratitude is bogus. Correct? You understand this point? No? So all the values, it should be authentic. It should be as per Guru Sadhu Shastra. You cannot just have values on your own and No, they say that it's all in all. No, it should be authentic. It should be with the purpose of pleasing Krishna. It should be with the purpose of going closer to Krishna. If it is becoming an obstacle, we don't worry about that value also. In general, we follow values. All the values we should follow. But when it becomes an obstacle, then we don't. And with that value helps us to become Krishna conscious, we want to follow it. And in general, it would be like that. But when it becomes an obstacle, then we should give up. Like say one fellow, he was doing PhD in Boston University. So he was chanting, coming for the programs. Then his mother took a promise. Promise me, you are not going to chant till you get married. He said, because she became fearful. This fellow may become monk. So she thought. Indian mother. So and this fellow told, what can I do now? When mother is saying, I say, promise me, otherwise I'll drink poison or something like that. Something she said. I don't know what is that. Something she kind of. And this fellow said, okay, promise. And then he sent message, Prabhu, I have promised my mother. Now I cannot come to temple. I cannot chant. Baba, this is not the way. You can still handle it. You don't have to tell her that you're chanting. You could hide and chant. In that case, even to do that transcendental cheating is good. No problem. You understand? No? We can say, I'm not chanting, and you can still chant. It's not like you have to do that. You understand this point? We don't tell people to lie. That's not our goal. But in certain situations, when it's becoming an obstacle in Krishna consciousness, we can actually take some smart action. You're getting this point too? You don't have to do anything. Your parents are devotees. You don't have to think about what way I can escape class by telling lies. That's not transcendental. That will not go take you closer to Krishna. The same. So what point I'm saying is that we have to be conscious that is it going to help in Krishna consciousness or not? Right? So we should not be superficially attached to values. So becoming attached to principles also can become a problem. If you're not aligned with the highest principle, that is, highest principle is to surrender to Krishna. Like for example, Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj became very clear about this point. Shukracharya was his own guru. And Shukracharya saved his life. Can you think about this? When Bali Maharaj lost all his strength, he was almost died. Shukracharya brought him back to life. And this Shukracharya, he's telling, don't give that promise to Vamandev. But Bali Maharaj had guts to say no to that guru who saved his life. Because he was attached to the highest principle. The highest principle was to surrender to Krishna. He said, Shukracharya is telling me not to give something to Vishnu, but I know from scriptures that, and I know from the great souls that everything should be offered to Krishna. But he is telling me something that I should not offer to Krishna. Then I reject you. He rejected his guru also. When the guru was not telling him to surrender to Krishna. You see? He could have simply said, no, how can I, say no? And my principle is that he saved my life, so I have to give my life to him. I owe to him. He could have said that. But he did not, right? So we can be a man of principle, but we have to know the highest principle is to surrender to Krishna. That's why Krishna says, Sar Dharman Parityaja, he says. Dharma means principle. Dharma. Sar Dharman Parityaja, he says. For the sake of the highest dharma of surrender to Krishna, if there are other dharmas coming on the way, we should be able to give up. Other dharma means other duties or so-called whatever. So that it becomes an obstacle, we should be able to give up. Is it point clear? So here Arjuna then says, fourth verse, he says, Arjuna said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counteract with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship? See the verse, Prabhu, and keep this something, because Gita should not be kept. Keep some, maybe some, something you have? Maybe tissue paper? Okay, we have the tissue paper. So what I was saying, the point that, so he was saying that how can I counteract, with arrow? So here Arjuna felt little hurt. Of course, Krishna did a good job, but Krishna did chastise, right? So Arjuna felt little kind of pinched because Arjuna felt that you're not understanding what I'm going through. You're not understanding me. I mean, of course, he knows, but the feelings I'm saying, the feeling, unspoken feeling of Arjuna. So Arjuna says, think about it, Krishna. How can I fight? How can I kill them? I cannot even have a verbal fight with them. That's what he says here, you see. How can I counterattack with them with arrows in battles like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship? And then purport Prabhupada says, respectable superiors like Bhishma, the grandfather, and Dronacharya, the teacher, are always worshipable. Even if they attack, they should not be counter-attacked. It is a general etiquette that superiors are not to be offered even a verbal fight. Like nowadays, no, the children, they have verbal fights with parents. You don't know. You nonsense, whatever. No? Sometimes I've heard even sometimes kids slap also their parents. No? Some teenagers, sometimes they may even beat also. Of course, sometimes parents are also, Kalyuga is like a both side, both are not, you understand? But ideally speaking, the elders should always be respected. That's how it should be. That's a natural cultural, this is an etiquette. No? Of course, as I said, it's a value. But if suppose, somebody, I mean, like Raja Shambhu gives his example. Let's say your own father is there, and he's beating your mother and beating your sister, and he's drunk, and he's behaving such nonsensically. Then you can even slap that father and bring him to sanity and do something. You cannot say, okay, my father, just go and touch his feet and all that. No, he's behaving like a madman. Then you have to bring him to sanity by doing some action, taking some action, or maybe calling police or something. Correct? No, you have to do something. So that is another thing. But what I'm saying is, in general, the elder should be respected. That's what Arjuna is saying. Because Arjuna is very cultured. He's saying that how can I? He's saying even verbal fight I cannot offer. Then how can you talk? How you're talking about killing? You understand? And then he says one counter argument. Prabhupada is right. See, I said, would Krishna ever attack his own grandfather, Ugrasena, or his teacher Sandipani Muni? You're able to read. So he's saying the last two, 3 lines of the purport.
Ever attack his own grandfather.
Ugrasen.
Teacher, there are some of these arguments offered by Arjuna.
So he's saying, Krishna, you tell me, will you ever counteract or have even verbal fight with your guru, like Sandipani Muni, or your grandfather, like Ugrasena? Because for him, his sensitive point was his grandfather Bhishma and his guru Dronacharya. So he's relating. Krishna, tell me, will you do that with your own teachers and with your own grandfather? Will you do that? And you're telling me to fight? He's trying to get empathy of Krishna, trying to make him understand what I'm going through. You getting this point, no, bro? So see here, this is the lose trap of Arjuna. Arjuna had 3 options, and all 3 options he was having hopelessness, right? So what are the Arjuna's this thing? So he and his superiors don't fight and be killed. You don't fight and get killed. So he and his superiors, whom he must protect, will likely to be killed by the aggressive opposing party. Is that option workable? Because he cannot even tolerate his superiors getting killed, right? His supporters, not superiors, supporters. Arjuna has his own army also, right? Gopalpur. So if suppose he doesn't fight, so will Duryodhana and party going to just rescue? I mean, they're going to just leave them? No, they're going to fight and kill all of them. So Arjuna cannot tolerate the death of his own supporters also, correct? That is not the right option. Second option, don't fight and live in poverty. See, don't fight and live in poverty. So, but in that case, he has to live in infamy, first thing. Ongoing fear of future attacks, because Duryodhana and party will again keep devising plans to attack them because they consider him as like enemy, so they're always going to attack. And there will be no kingdom to support his people. His all supporters will also be remaining in poverty and always in distress. So that also he cannot tolerate, correct, no? So don't fight and just run away in the jungle and remain poor also is not a solution, because his supporters also will suffer by that. And they also have the danger of they attacking again anytime and killing their own supporter also. So that option also is not workable. And the last option, fight and kill the loved ones. That way he can gain the kingdom, but on the cost of the death of his own dear grandfather, like Bhishma and Guru, like Dronacharya and other relatives, which Arjuna is also having a major challenge with. He's not ready for it. Correct? No? He's thinking, how can I enjoy when all this respectable dear teacher and grandfather and relatives of mine I kill, and then I have a kingdom. What is the use of that kind of thing? He's thinking. So that means what? He's not getting so he's not finding any pleasure in any of this option and 0 perceived value. And he's not finding any value in these options. You're getting this point, no? No value, no pleasure. So this is a pleasure versus meaning thing, you see. So in our life also, there are many, so see, I'll tell you. So ideal state, what is the ideal state? Where people may find pleasure in some activity, and it is valuable also. That is ideal state, no? Like it's very good. You find something meaningful and it's very pleasurable also. I give some mundane example. Let's say you are studying some subject. It's meaningful because it can give you good career and good job and settle nicely, and you like that subject also. So that is like ideal state, correct, no? And another is what you do not like that subject much, but that subject, if you put effort, you can do good and you can get job and career, but somehow you don't like so much. So it's like a difficult duty, but you do it, you'll get good results, and the future is good, correct, no? And the third one is that it is it is actually it is no play. No, first come to this one, no, the empty gratification. So here it is, you have the pleasure, your mind likes the pleasure, but it has no value. Meaning it is not going to give you. Like say somebody likes smoking, somebody likes drinking, somebody likes hanging around with girls or all that. So it may give you some kind of pleasure, temporary, some gratification, apparently, right? But it has no meaning. It's not going to give you any tangible meaning to your life, correct? So it's like empty gratification. And the last step is what? Last quadrant is no value and no meaning. That means it's not going to give you any pleasure also, and has any meaning also. Such kind of activity. You getting this point, no? So if you're in that quadrant, you feel like, why I'm existing in this world? Because whatever I'm supposed to do, it has no pleasure, it has no meaning also. You getting this point, no? Right? Like somebody is in, somebody is put in concentration camp for eternity. So no pleasure, no meaning to it. It's just suffering, So it's like an extreme example I'm giving. Somebody in prison, no value and no pleasure. It's not going to help you anyway. Of course, one value could be that you may get reformed there. So anyway, the point what I'm trying to tell is that, see, in Krishna consciousness, we have some activities which gives us pleasure. And Krishna consciousness gives the highest meaning to our life. We all know that, right? So something gives pleasure to us and is meaningful in Krishna consciousness. Wonderful. But there may be some things which may not be so pleasurable in Krishna consciousness, but it is of really worth. It's valuable for us. So we should go for it. It may be a difficult duty, but we still go through it. We don't say no to it. Correct? Like chanting 16 notes may be difficult, right? But still we do it. We do it, right? And getting up early in the morning, it may be difficult. But still we do it. Coming in class in time is difficult. And missing the session in the early is difficult or easy? It's difficult.
Yeah.
Coming in class is difficult in time.
Yeah, so we
Right.
also
And leaving the class in time or before time is easy to do it. But then taking the responsibility, I came late, so I will want to stay for furthermore. If I'm 1 hour late, I want to stay 2 hours now to compensate. So if we have that kind of responsibility, it is easy or difficult? It's difficult to do it.
It's easy, but otherwise then
So anyway, the point is that. So there are many duties in Krishna consciousness which will be difficult for us. Just because it is difficult, should we not do it? No, because we see the long-term pleasure. So the point is, the Krishna consciousness, certain duties will look like tough, difficult, but we still do it because it has a meaning. And when you keep doing it, it will come to the first quadrant. It will come to the idealism because your mind actually will start liking it, and it will have a meaning also. You getting this point? So that means focus on Krishna consciousness. Because we do it, then it will come to ideal state anyway. Think about empty gratification. When you go for certain activities which are not having any value, but it gives you some pleasure, like you hang around with girls, have some all that. You can hang around with some smoker, drunkards. You hang around with fellows going for Hollywood, Bollywood, and all that you do. You do all that. So it may look very pleasurable for you, but it has no value. But I'll tell you one thing. You keep doing that, eventually you will find even pleasure also goes away. You feel frustrated because you get bored of it. You getting what I'm saying? It becomes so like, it's like there's nothing there. You go for it again, come do again, and then eventually what happens? You get completely frustrated, even bad. That's what happened to hippies. Hippies, they were so much into drugs, intoxication, illicit sex, and gambling, everything they were doing. After that, also they were not finding eventually they were not finding happiness there also. You getting this point? No? They were completely, then they were coming to this quadrant, where no pleasure, no meaning. So empty gratification leads to coming to this quadrant, this quadrant. See, you understand? I don't know. You say third quadrant. You come to that quadrant because if you go with the choice of empty gratification, eventually come to this quadrant, where no pleasure and no meaning. And that's the reason many hippies were committing suicide also. You know that they were because they do not know why I'm existing. It's called existential crisis. What is called? Existential crisis. When there is nothing left to look forward to, life feels meaningless. So modern pilots, so exhaustion of material pleasures, and then they come to that God. They become so exhausted. Correct? So Arjuna's question, he turns to Krishna and asks, what is dharma? Seeking both the morality, right thing, and the deeply meaningful thing. So that point is that actually what we need is meaning in our lives. The most important thing what we're looking for is meaning in our life. Pleasure, we have plenty. Like people have options for pleasures, but still people are not happy because they don't have meaning in this. Getting this point? So once you get the meaning in life, no, even though life may have still challenges, still you may find some kind of not so pleasure in terms of convenience and comfort. But once you have meaning in life, you'll be happy and satisfied. Getting this point? That is required in life. So, and Krishna consciousness gives you the meaning. It gives you the purpose. So is this life goes good? May not be always. You know, sometimes you are trying to teach the students and they don't complete. Maybe terrible to bear that, right? Sometimes.
Sometimes I'm waiting for the teacher and the teacher gets late.
Oh, like that. So it's not easy for him also, correct? Because he has to wait sometimes and teacher is late. Also, correct? And what to speak of the teacher is pointing out in the classroom. That is all the more correct. Anyway, so Krishna consciousness also is not always good. I mean, in terms of pleasure, it's not always pleasurable. You may have to face some troubles, right? But the point is, meaning is there, so you're happy and satisfied. Just like all of you are satisfied and happy. Because you have meaning. It's not pleasurable. Like, so you are sitting here, it was not so pleasurable, but you had a meaning, you're sitting, so you had happy. So happiness doesn't depend upon our, the external pleasurable situations. You understand? No? So the pleasure hunt, what we have, no, that's actually wrong paradigm of life. We are always hunting pleasure. That's the wrong paradigm. That will not lead to satisfaction and happiness. Pleasure and happiness are different things. When I'm talking about happiness, happiness is the real thing, the real joy of heart. So that doesn't come by seeking pleasure in this world. You can get pleasure of this world, but you won't find happiness. Correct, no? Yeah, you can pay money and get something, some quick temporary pleasure. It's called empty gratification. Is this clear to all of you? So, okay, so now going further. So he was completely, lost. He was not knowing what to do. So I'll read. It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls or my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they're superiors. If they're killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. It seems like that. So now do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them? Yet, if we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. So he was confused. He was not knowing what to do. It's called existential crisis, which many people face in this world because they go for empty gratification option and then eventually they land up into getting existential crisis. The last one. You're getting this point? Arjuna start that first. And then chapter number 7, verse number 7 he said about this verse. He said, can you repeat after me? Karpanya dosho pahata subhava. Prichhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta. Yat prehasya nishchitam brohitan me. Shishyaste ham shadhi mam tvam prapannam. Good, excellent. All of you are very nice. Here's the meaning.
Now that I'm confused about my duty and I've lost all composure because of miserly weakness, in this condition.
Do you pronounce it miserly or miserly? I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking.
Miserly.
Miserly.
Misery is when there's no L.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like miserly, right?
Yeah, miserly. Okay. When the L is not there, it's misery. Of miserly weakness. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I'm your disciple and a soul surrendering unto you. Please instruct me.
Surrender to Krishna. You're asking to instruct me. You're so surrendered to me. That's okay. So the thing is, this purport is very beautiful purport. I want you to read this purport because this purport talks about the situation of people in this world, how they get perplexed, and what they should do. So here Arjuna, see, this is one of the very most auspicious verse. Why? Because he is here coming to that conclusion of taking shelter of Krishna. As I said, that is the most auspicious thing. Correct? So read the purport. Somebody can read the purport loudly.
By nature, you can.
By nature's own way.
Louder, louder.
By nature's own way.
Much louder.
By nature's own way. The complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone.
Agree?
Yep.
It brings out a lot of perplexing situations, right? Yeah.
And every step there is complexity, and therefore it behoves one to approach.
So perplexity means what? You don't know what to do now. Life brings you at certain junction, then you feel helpless. What should I do now? I'll tell you an example. Once there was a deer, and deer has to give baby that time. So what has happened? So there was a tiger, which was actually, she saw the tiger, which was chasing, which was coming towards her, and then she thought, "I have to run now." But she was kind of pregnant also, and that baby has to be given, and then behind, so this side tiger was coming, and then there is behind there is hunter also. The hunter was targeting to kill that. He was ready to do that, like that. And then and another side there was this thing, like ocean or big river. So she cannot even go that side because that road is blocked. That way it was. So one side tiger, one side hunter, and one side this ocean was there, like that. And yeah, and another side there was a forest, and the forest got fire. Do you understand? No? So forest, fire, cannot go there. The ocean or river cannot go there. And this side was tiger, and this side was hunter. Now what she should do? What she should do? You tell me? If she runs to the forest, she will be burnt. And she has to give the baby also. This side is water. She cannot go there, like what she can do. She can just go up to near that. But then anyway, the hunter and tiger is coming, right? And the forest fire is there, and hunter is there, lion is there, is coming. So she can only think of death, right? Nothing else. So she thought, she knew what happened. She was a devotee. So she thought, I just can't do anything. So she had full faith in God. She said, I don't know. It's up to God whether I live or die. So it's not in my control. So I just take shelter of the Lord, and I am just going to deliver my baby peacefully. She became very peaceful. Suddenly she got such deep peace, just having that faith in God. She understood it's God in control. Why should I worry? It's nothing is in my control. But I know one person is in control. Who is God? And she thought it is in his hand. If I have to die, I'll die. If I have to live, I'll live. It's up to him. Why should I worry? I am protected by God. My soul is protected by God. Even if I die, my soul will carry forward. God will take me. I'm fully surrendered to God. And my baby also to God. I don't. And then she became so peaceful. She there only sat and started giving. She has to give the baby that time. So and then she was ready for it. And then baby eventually was coming out like that. And she was very peaceful. So what happened? That everything was all right eventually. Some magic happened. And she was completely safe. Baby was delivered. And baby was healthy. And she was also okay. And everything was perfect. Nothing happened to her. So magic happened. So this is the end of the story. Any questions? Question? You have any question? So magic happened, and that because of that magic, this happened. So any question? Any question, Gopal? Or you can ask them what that magic happened. You can ask. Yeah, that's what No, so what happened is this. I'll tell you what happened is this. So what happened? There was a snake. So that snake, when the hunter was trying to shoot, the arrow. He was about to put arrow. The snake bit hunter. And that because of that biting, he lost balance. And that that arrow, it went to tiger, and tiger got killed. And that time only somehow there was, lightning and thunder and rain. That time only it happened. It started raining, and then that forest fire was completely put to rest. I mean, it got over. I mean, what is extinguished? It got extinguished, right? So there was no forest fire further. So forest fire was over. The hunter was killed because of snake bite. The tiger was killed because of the hunter's mismatch, whatever it is. Everything became all right. And there was a nice river. She can easily, even drink water and relax, and everything was so peaceful now. All the adverse situation became very peaceful situation. You getting this point? See? So this can happen. So life can take turns, can make the most wonderful situation into most complicated situation. And the most complicated situation also can become completely easy situation. Life can work both ways. So things are not in our control many times. Not many times. It's not in our control. We get that idea that I'm in control. We get that idea because of having some minute control. Like I can switch on, tap, 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 off, and I'm the controller. But suppose electricity from the main, master there, I mean, the station only, it goes away. Then you keep tap on, off, switch on, off, nothing will happen. So we are tiny controllers. So Prabhupada says, little control means no control. Correct, no? It's like the cat, she is having full control over that rat who is going to eat now. So she gives freedom. Okay, now you try to escape. So little control, I'm speaking, but it's no control only because she is completely captured only. You are getting it? Or let's say the prisoner is in the prison house and he has so-called control. He has some control, but no control because he's completely under the jurisdiction of those prisoners. They can immediately capture him in any way. I mean, they can put him in strong ropes. They can do anything with him. Yeah, anything they can do, right? So that's up to their discretion. They may give some little control. The same way, we have no control in that sense. So we are actually very helpless. So read further. Sorry, I gave a lot of time in explaining this. Yeah. In every step.
Every step is complexity, and therefore one behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. All Vedic literature advises us to approach a bona fide spiritual master.
So the point is, the perplexed situations are going to come many times. We don't, as I said in the beginning also, I gave elaborate explanation about this Gopal. So perplexity can come on its own. We don't have any choice. But one thing is on our choice, to find out a bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of him. And because that's how we take shelter of Krishna. I think that's our choice. So that's why he's saying that one should take a shelter of bona fide spiritual master who can give proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. Right? So that's why whenever reversal and crisis are there, yes, we have to take shelter of Krishna, but taking shelter of Krishna is actually practically possible, or you can do it well under the able guidance of a bona fide spiritual master or bona fide devotees. That's why we should always be guided by devotees. Then we will know how to take shelter of Krishna also. Because we may not be that mature to take shelter of Krishna like Draupadi, like Prahlad sometimes. So in our stage, we should also be guided by bona fide spiritual master and devotees. So that way we will be able to take shelter of Krishna actively now. You getting this point? In perplexed situation, remember to take shelter of devotees and spiritual master. Yes. All Vedic literature.
All Vedic literature advises us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the complexities of life, which happens without our desire. They're like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone.
So when forest fire, nobody goes to put fire, matchstick or what we call in this chemical, tap, we don't know. Lighter. Then nobody puts lighter there. It happens naturally. Forest catches fire on its own. Some friction here and there, and it just happens. So you cannot trace out the cause. So same way, when some perplexed situation comes, you want to find the cause. No, you can't get it. Somehow, sometimes things become so perplexed. I mean, you become so perplexed about certain situations of life. And you want to say what mistake happened there. I mean, there are so many factors. It just falls at that. All things comes like that, and you become so perplexed. It's very perplexing situation. Anyone of you have experienced any kind of situation like this in life, very, very, very perplexed? Some experience? Yeah.
remember.
Probably when we might, at least I think one thing, that when we might be in the womb of our mothers, and we were conscious there. So surely we must be very perplexed where I have landed up here. Only thing we forgot. We had that situation many times. As a baby, you must be very perplexed and helpless. We did not know what to do. I remember once I was very small. I was like maybe 3-year kid or 2 years kid. I don't know. But I remember that I was sleeping in my room. I mean, I think my mother was there and I was there. Then my mother went and locked me. And she went somewhere. And I don't know where she went. And I got, after sleep, I got up and I saw the room is locked and I'm locked in this room. I was a small kid. And I was thinking, was knocking the door, nobody's opening. I thought, where is my mother? I had no clue. Where she has gone? Some problem had. And you know, understand, I mean, as a kid, what will I understand? I thought, my mother is not there and I'm locked. I felt so perplexed. I don't know what to do. So I was like, there was some, my mother was working some health, I mean, she was like a government servant in health department. So she has some medicines, like some medicines and some bottles. So I became so frantic about it. I was calling, nobody is responding, and a lot of time is going like this. I became, what is it? I started taking all the bottles, I started throwing, I became so upset. And I was thinking, what to do? I'm locked. Am I going to be locked eternally like this? What exactly is going to happen? I'm going to have to die or what? You know, you feel so perplexed. You don't know what to do. I'll give another story. It's very threatening. I mean, just bear with it. Yeah, it's a very terrible story. See, there was a boy. So that school summer vacation was supposed to happen. So this boy, so all parents came, to take the child and everything. So then, so this boy had gone to washroom, and then what happened? That sweeper, because the school is getting closed, so he did not know, because everything was over, school was over and everything. So he did not know the child was inside the washroom. A small child, what way And so cut happened. He did not even respond also, and he locked the whole thing, and he went. And then parents came to pick the child, and they did not find the child. Child is not coming, and they to the principal to find out, and they searched everywhere. They did not find child anywhere. And then so they did not too much think that he's in the school. They thought that school to band ho gaya, school got closed. Maybe child has gone somewhere. You understand? Like parents were waiting, all children are coming, and they did not. And they just once went through the school, they did not find anyone. And then they found that there is nobody, coming here. Maybe the child has gone somewhere, somebody has taken. So parents got so many questions, but they're not. And they started finding out different ways and all that. So after the summer vacation was over, this child they did not find. After summer vacation was over, they found, I should not describe that. So it was very terrible, very terrible. So he had eaten his own flesh and things like that. It was so terrible. So can you imagine perplexity? Now it's a summer vacation. What this child could have done? Think about it. Suppose we are in that situation. What can we do? There is no. So this is the whole life being. Now I am telling you an extreme thing. So like the situation happens in life where you have no mistake. It's not like your fault, right? It was not conscious fault of a child. He was just put in perplexed situation. So it is not like you have to do some mistake to get into perplexity in life. It's not like that. You can be in perplexed situations without having any kind of your conscious mistakes also. Because this world is designed like there's one our devotee, Shivas Chandra, his father, mother, his brother, they all left the body at one go in car accident. Can you think of that kind of perplexity his son he must have felt trauma. At one go, they died. And he was in boarding school. So it must be like a car. No?
He was in the car.
No, he was a boy.
He was in the car.
No.
He told me he was in
He
the
was
car.
not in the car.
He was in the car.
He was,
Ask him. He was in the car.
Whatever,
He was in the
leave
car. He was
He
in
was
the car.
He was not. But anyway, so the
He
point
was.
is that his brother, mother, and father. Yes. So it's purpose. Right? Whose mistake? What can you say? Correct? So this life brings purpose. So everything going on, nice, suddenly things can happen. So life is like that. So anyway, go ahead. So that's why we need a spiritual shelter. That's why we need a bona fide spiritual master, so that we can know what I should do in such situations of life. Because that time we don't know what to do. Correct? So that's the time we need this higher shelter. Yes, go ahead. The most we need. Correct? Go ahead. All Vedic literatures.
What the literature advises us to approach final pressure from master to get free from the complexities of life which happen without desire, their life of force are that somehow blazing without being sent by anyone. Similarly, the world situation is such that complexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place. We become perplexed. The Vedic wisdom therefore arises that in order to solve the complexities of life and understand the science of the solution, one must approach the spiritual master in the despotics, essentially.
Desire successions.
Person with bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything and should not therefore remain in material complexities, but should approach a spiritual master. This is the foremost of this verse. Who is the man in material complexities? It is he who does not understand the problems of life. In the Brahad Aranyaka,
Nishant.
the perplexed man is described as follows: Yoga et Saram Arika.
So it says the Vedic wisdom advises us to honor to solve the perplexity of life. Understand science of solution, one must approach a bona fide spiritual master because he knows everything. How he knows everything? How can you say bona fide spiritual master knows everything? Gopal, how can you say that he knows everything? He's also a human being, no? You must say how he knows everything. Who will start? He's supposed to know everything. He's supposed to know everything, Hare Krishna, in terms of, we are having Gita talk, Gita discussion. Oh, no. But you are a lover of Gita. So, how spiritual master knows everything? He knows everything how to help you in that situation to take shelter of the Lord. He knows everything. He is well versed with the science of taking shelter of Krishna. And then he can help you. You understand? He knows everything about that. He knows everything about the nature of this material world. He knows everything about how you can be saved by taking shelter of the Lord. He knows about it. So he is expert in the science of Krishna consciousness. That way. And he is helped by the Lord. He is the representative of the Lord. So Lord also is empowered by the Lord to help you. Because he has a sincere intention to help you. So Lord helps the spiritual master to guide you also. So when a spiritual master tells us something, we should take it as Krishna's words. We should take it as a Krishna's words. When a bona fide spiritual master tells us, it's Krishna telling to us. We should think like that. So more we have that kind of mood of surrender and submission, you'll be able to actually follow the instructions of this. You can take it that way and you can follow it and you will be out of the problem. At least, you can take shelter. That is the real solution. Problem may still be there, but you will not be perplexed. Just like Arjuna was perplexed after hearing Krishna, his perplexity went. Correct, no? So that's the point. So taking shelter of, so spiritual master is guided by the Lord, and whatever when the spiritual master says something, it is what Krishna is wanting you to do. That way we should take it. Go ahead. You can read. Who is the man? But you have to read louder.
Okay. Who is
Very
the
loud.
man
Very loud.
Very loud. Who is the man in material capacities? It is he who does not understand the problems of life. In Brahad Upanishad 3.8.10, the perplexed man is described as follows: Yoga etat
Aksharam Gargi
eva.
Avidasama Lokat Praiti Sa Kripanaha.
He's a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human, and who thus quits this world, like the cats and dogs, without understanding the science of self-realization. This human form of life is a most valuable assert for the living entity, who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. On the other hand, there is the Brahmana, or who is intelligent enough to utilize his body to solve all the problems of life. Ya etad aksharam largi vidit Vashwan lokat pratisa dhamana.
Yeah, so point is, Prabhu, he's saying the man who can be in perplexities of life, the man who does not understand the problems of life. So basically, he doesn't have the goal of life. He doesn't have the purpose of life clear. Correct, no? So such a man will be in perplexity so many ways. But if you have a clear goal of Krishna consciousness in your life and you have a spiritual master, you will not have perplexity, because you have an active shelter. You are taking active shelter of Krishna, active shelter of the spiritual master. So then, even some apparent perplexed situation comes also, it won't be perplexing you, because you are helped by the Guru, you are helped by the knowledge. You can avoid it, right? But the person who doesn't understand the problems of life, he has no purpose of life, and it's called miser. So miserly is called Kripna. Brahmana is the person who is broad-minded, or who knows his intelligent person. So the person who simply spends his time only to get gratification of this world. He simply wants to just be happy in this world, trying to have comfort of life only. If that is his goal, that means he's miser. Why miser? Because human life could have given him much important benefit, like self-realization, God realization. That he could have got, but he simply used his human life for getting something cheap, which animals also do. They also do the same, right? So that's why it's called miserly, because it's like if you have money, so much money you have, but you never purchase the food or things like that, which could have helped your body, health and everything. Then you are so miserly, you're foolish and miserly, correct? You're not spending it. Same way we have got a human life, but you're not spending the human life for the thing which you can purchase. See, you can purchase, when you have other animal life, you can purchase some gratification from that body. That body can give you some gratification. But when you got the human body, with human body you can purchase God. How? By using the human body in God's service, Krishna service, correct, no? But you're not using it for that purpose. You have the money, you have the asset, human body, but you're not using it to get God. That means you're miser. You're not spending it rightly. You're wasting, correct, no? You're not spending it properly. So that's why you call miser. So the intelligent person will actually, he will not be like that. He will understand the problems of life and he'll take shelter of the Lord. So you can read the Kripanas. You can read Sumit louder.
The Kripanas or miserly persons waste their time in being overly affectionate for family.
You're also able to see the purport?
I'm sorry.
You are able to see that?
No,
Okay. So you can read maybe. You can give chance for reading. Read louder.
You said that Kripana. The Kripanas are literally persons who waste their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, country, etc. In the material conception of life, one is often attached to family life, namely to wife, children, and other members of the basic skin disease. The Kripana thinks that he is able to protect his family members from death, or the Kripana thinks that his family or society can save them from the verge of death. Such family attachment can be found even in the lower animals who take care of children also. Being intelligent, Arjuna could understand that his affection for his family members and wish to protect them from death were the causes of his complexities. Although he could understand that his duties, the fight was awaiting him, still uncounted easily because he did not charge of duty. He therefore asked the Lord Krishna supreme spiritual master to that solution. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop trying to talk between the master and the disciple and clearly now everyone wants to talk there and for Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master kind of Raghava Sita. Arjuna is the first disciple for understanding the Sita. How Arjuna understands the Raghava Sita is stated in the Gita itself, and yet foolish mundane scholars explain that one needs to submit to Krishna as a person, but the unborn with Krishna, there is no difference between Krishna within and without, and one who has no sense of his understanding of the greatest fool and trying to understand the Raghava himself.
What some reflection? Or we can share one reflection from this purport.
So
First, raise hand. Whoever is ready for the reflection.
you said, I think this was right before he started speaking. You were saying that people who don't have a goal of life, they'll have as many complexities, but people who have understanding of spiritual knowledge and are under guidance, they will be free from all of these material requirements.
Yeah, they can actually make themselves free from those perplexities of life. Yes. The purposes may come, but they are able to resolve it by taking shelter of Guru and Krishna. Like Arjuna could do it. Any other reflection?
So like Kripanas are like miserly person who thinks that like who is more affectionate towards family, society, career, etc. But like he thinks like he is not aware of the perplexity of life. Like if perplexity comes, then how he will solve that he may not know. So in order to solve that, he has to take control.
Yeah. Yes.
Professional.
Especially the end paragraph, nobody told anything.
Of this paragraph.
Yeah, this paragraph. For this paragraph, just know what he read for that reflection.
So yeah, again, being free from complexity and misery, being perpetually stuck in a cycle of birth and death. Being trusted in the Lord is better than being stuck like this. And yes, you could your body for its duty to the Lord instead of using it for
Right. So here you see the Kripna is only attached to Sumit Prusat, only attached to family members and all that stuff. And he doesn't understand the purpose of life. And he cannot save himself from death. And his family members also cannot save him from death. He doesn't know that. So simply wastes his time. I mean, simply spends his time in just taking care of his material duties only. So, so here Arjuna also was getting into Kripna zone because he was not understanding actually his real duty which Krishna wants him to do. So he did not have that guidance. So once he took the guidance, then he became Brahman. So here he is asking a definite solution by offering himself as a disciple. So when we also can become Brahmana from being Kripana when we take shelter of bona fide spiritual master. Brahmana not like Brahman initiation. Brahmana means one who understands the purpose of life, one who understands the goal of life, one who's really living a meaningful life. So he wants to stop friendly talk, and that's why he is taking shelter of Krishna now. Like that. So, and says how Arjuna understands Bhagavad Gita is started in Gita itself. That Arjuna is the first disciple of understanding the Gita. And Krishna is the original spiritual master. And Prabhupada makes a point that there is no difference between Krishna's within and without. Some people think one has to take shelter of something within Krishna which is impersonal. It's bogus. Krishna is saying, take shelter of me. Me means as a person, me. There's nothing within or without Krishna. Krishna is Krishna. His body is completely spiritual. Like we are having body and soul is inside. It's not like that for Krishna. Krishna is completely spiritual. He doesn't have material body. He's a spiritual existence, spiritual form. Okay, so now moving further. Robert, your reflection? Robert?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been feeling a lot of stress, and my academic knowledge is not really helping me. So kind of relate to the need for prayer.
Where are you now, Robert?
I'm at my office.
Where? Tufts?
It's by North Station.
You can come to temple. I'll give you a break of around 30 minutes or 45 minutes. You can come during that time to temple. We can be in person. You'll feel more relief from your stress.
Yeah, maybe I'll take a shower and then go. I haven't showered for 2 days.
Sorry?
I need to shower first.
No problem. No problem. We don't want you to shower. You are good. Your body is pure because you're chanting Hare Krishna. No need to take shower. You can come. Not for you. For you. You can take shower. You can take shower. You can come, Robert.
Yeah.
No problem. Yeah. No, don't worry about the shower part. You can come.
I'll take a shower and then I'll be there soon.
Yeah. While taking shower also you can hear. If you
Yeah.
But you can come. You come here. Come here, then you'll feel nice. Okay. Yeah.
I thought
So-
we're just going to be not having.
Huh?
I thought we're just going to keep that break.
No, we'll take a break and then we will have again come back. We'll take till 6 today. So it's okay till 6. Take till 6.
Okay. You go pray to Lord Jagannath.
Huh?
You just pray to Lord Jagannath. If he gives permission, I'll.
Yeah, he already gave permission. He told me that Gopal is going to tell like this. Tell them my permission is there. Thank you. You don't like this, huh? This is so wonderful.
No, I just have to go to someone's house.
You can say I have Bhakti Shastri. They'll say okay, fine. We'll see. Okay, so anyway, is this clear? Anything, any question, anything? Yeah. Prabhupada also says skin disease, being attached to family, society, and all is called skin disease. Skin disease, because they're so attached to body. Right? Okay, next verse, text 8. I can find no means to drive away this grief, which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I win a prosperous and rebel kingdom on earth with sovereignty with the like the demigods in the heaven. So he's saying that nothing can help me. Correct? No? We're saying this also again. That Arjuna was putting forward so many arguments based on knowledge of the principles of religion and moral codes. It appears that he was unable to solve his real problem without the help of the spiritual master, Lord Shri Krishna. He could understand that his so-called knowledge was useless in driving away his problems, which are drying up his whole existence. It was impossible for him to solve such perplexities without the help of his spiritual master like Lord Krishna. Academic knowledge. Robert Prabhu, read this academic knowledge.
Academic knowledge, scholarship, high position, etc., are all useless in solving the problems of life. Help can be given only by a spiritual master like Krishna. Therefore, the conclusion is that a spiritual master who is 100% Krishna conscious is the bona fide spiritual master, for he can solve the problems of life.
Yeah. So, and a spiritual master doesn't need to be having any external qualification. His main qualification is that he is very Krishna conscious. That is the main qualification of a spiritual master. Yeah, read this one. The problems of material life.
The problems of material existence, birth, old age, disease, and death cannot be counteracted by accumulation of wealth and economic development. Oh yeah. So the in many parts of the world, there are states which are replete with all facilities of life, which are full of wealth and economically developed, yet the problems of material existence are still present. They're seeking peace in different ways, but they can achieve real happiness only if they consult Krishna or the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which constitute the science of Krishna through the bona fide representation of Krishna, the man in Krishna consciousness.
Read this also, if economic development. If economic development.
Yeah. If economic developments and
You can put your video also on, Robert, if you don't mind.
yeah.
Yeah, and you can read. If
If
economic
economic development and material comforts could drive away one's lamentations for family, social, national, or international inebrieties, then Arjuna would not have said that even an unrivaled kingdom
on earth.
on earth or supremacy like that of the demigods and heavenly planets would be unable to drive away his lamentations. He sought, therefore, refuge in Krishna consciousness, and that is the right path for peace and harmony. Economic development or supremacy over the world can be finished at any moment by the cataclysms of material nature. Even elevation into a higher planetary situation, as men are now seeking on the moon planet, can also be finished at one stroke. The Bhagavad Gita confirms this. Kshina punya marcha lokam vishanti. When the results of pious activities are finished, one falls down again from the peak of happiness to the lowest status of life. Many politicians of the world have fallen down in that way. Such downfalls only constitute more causes for lamentation. Therefore, if we want to curb lamentation for good, then we have to take shelter of Krishna, as Arjuna is seeking to do. So Arjuna asked Krishna to solve his problem definitely, and that is the way of Krishna consciousness.
Correct. So what is the reflection, Robert?
Well, all this stress about money isn't really helping. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so next verse is talking about Sanjay said, having spoken thus, Arjuna told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. He surrendered and he's telling that I will not fight also. Basically, he's got overwhelmed. Right? So although Arjuna was for timing overwhelmed with false grief due to family affection, he surrendered unto Krishna, the supreme spiritual master, as a disciple. This indicated that he would soon be free from the false lamentation resulting from family affection and be enlightened with perfect knowledge. You see, so it's just a matter of time. So once you have taken the first step of taking shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, your life is already auspicious. You may still have some kind of challenges and all, but because you are under shelter, you are going to be out of all that, because you're in the right shelter, and as you get instructions and enlightenment, then you will be out of that. So that's a wonderful thing. It's like you enter into hospital and take shelter of doctor. Immediately disease may not go sometimes. It may take time. But because you have gone the right doctor, right hospital, so then you are in a safe shelter. You can relax. You don't have to worry too. Correct? No? So it's not that every problem spiritual master solve. You may have to struggle sometimes. There's some struggle. But the thing is, you're on the right shelter, you're doing the right thing. So you can be very carefree. You don't have to have that kind of anxiety or tension. You get this point? So Dhritarashtra's joy would be frustrated since Arjuna would be enlightened by Krishna and would fight to end to the end. Next verse. Gopal.
O descendants of Bharat, at that time Krishna smiling, in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna.
Yeah, so Krishna is smiling not because he is ridiculing on him. So you think Krishna was smiling because his friend had chosen to become a disciple. As Lord of all, he is always a superior position and the master of everyone. And yet the Lord agreed to be a friend, a son, or a lover of a devotee who wants him in such a role. So it is Lord's sweetness that he becomes a friend or son or lover of anyone, out of love. And somebody loves him like that. So Krishna here, was a friend of Arjuna, but now he has taken the position of disciple. Arjuna has taken the position of disciple here. And he says, the talk between the master and disciple was openly exchanged in the presence of both armies. And he assumed the role and talked with the disciple like the master with gravity. It is required. I'll show you. So here, why Krishna is smiling? See? It says tears and smile. Why he is smiling? A striking contrast, the core dialogue. Arjuna is overwhelmed expressing his deepest fears in tears, and Krishna is smiling. This is not a smile of mockery, but of appreciation. He recognizes that a profound shift is about to occur. So the shift happens. What is the shift happens? The friend has become a student, charioteer has become a teacher, and battlefield has become a classroom. That's how Krishna was smiling, because these changes have happened. The friend has become a student, charioteer has become a teacher, and battlefield has become classroom. So Arjuna is not merely venting emotions, he is actively seeking education, not just consolation. Correct, no? He is actively seeking education, not consolation. See, sometimes when we are so depressed, we are too emotional, overwhelmed. Then many times what we do? We try to take shelter of somebody who we can vent out our things. We are not seeking any solution. We are not seeking any instruction. We are simply wanting to just vent out. We just want a friend, shoulder where I can just cry. Sometimes people seek that, right? But they are not actively seeking some education or guidance. You see sometimes people like that. Sometimes some person came to you. We are discussing Bhagavad Gita from 2nd chapter. If you are interested, you can stay back also. It's up to you. So you can see some people come in our life and they simply want to cry. You have seen some people. They simply want to cry. They're not looking for any instructions, no such. And if you give, they will become disturbed also. No, don't tell me. Just hear me. I just want to cry. They need somebody. That may be good for them sometimes. But here Arjuna's situation is not like that. Arjuna is not simply crying, he is looking for education. So these people are the right candidate for, getting preached, because they are not just frustrated with their problems, they're seeking something higher. There are many people frustrated in their life, but they're not seeking something higher. You understand this point? So frustration is one thing which is common to many people, but seeking education, seeking knowledge, seeking higher truths of life, that is extraordinary, which Arjuna is having. So Arjuna's plus point is that he's seeking knowledge. And he's taking shelter, is first plus point. And not just seeking shelter sentimentally, okay, just I want to cry. He's also seeking knowledge, seeking instructions. So when we have some problems, sometimes you want to go to our teacher and say, I have this problem, that problem, but we should also seek instructions. What should I apply in my life so that I can overcome this thing? I can work on my life, correct? So that is very important. Not just wanting to just go and share our sorrows and problems and this and that, but seek knowledge also. Is this point clear to you? So Jeev Goswami says how to read a book. Read how to read a book. Here.
How to read a book, the Jiva Goswami method. To understand the true purpose of a structured test, look closely at the first and last instructive words. Though others, Sanjay, Dhritarashtra, and Arjuna, speak to provide context, this is the song of God, because Krishna's teachings from the core.
Yeah. So, so the thing is, if you want to understand any book, you can understand the book in one simple ways. You read the beginning and end. Especially if or if you want to hear the lecture of someone, beginning and end, if you hear, you get some understanding of what the lecture is about. Because in the beginning he'll give you some intro, and then he'll do some conclusion. So then you can make out what must be the lecture. Especially if the author is quite structured and the speaker is structured. Then you can make out what must have spoken in between. Correct? Same way, in Bhagavad Gita also, if you see in this book, the first instruction Krishna is going to give you now, to Arjuna now. What is the first instruction here? 2.11. So you can read the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Read Sumit.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead.
So they lament for not for the living of the. So this is 2.11. Okay. So what is the main instruction Krishna is giving? The first instruction. Krishna still now did not give any instruction to Arjuna. This is the first time he's giving instruction in 2.11. Till now he's only heard. They say that till you're not hired, if you tell something, then they won't listen. If you're not hired by somebody and you tell instruction, they don't listen many times. Correct, no? But when they're seeking, you tell, then it benefits. Sometimes you tell instruction to somebody who's not looking for, sometimes they become angry also on you. Sometimes, So the point is that Krishna is such an expert teacher. He's listening when Arjuna wants to speak. But when he's seeking, Krishna starts speaking. And Krishna speaks first time the instruction in 2.11. And what is the instruction in essence? What do you think? In essence, what is the instruction? Scott, what do you think is the instruction in essence?
What is he saying?
Yeah. So this whole translation, what do you think is the instruction? What Krishna is instructing here, actually? In one word, in one line. What do you think, Sumit?
Those who are wise.
No. One line you say what he should not do or what he should do, whatever, something like that.
Like we should not like indulge in the problem, but
What we should not do.
When we're speaking,
What one should not do. He's sending very
not
simple.
indulge in the
What one should not do. In this, he's sending, don't do this. He's saying simple. Whole thing is talking about don't do this. What he's saying to do? Don't lament. He's saying don't lament. Huh?
Don't spiral.
Yeah, don't lament. Those are wise, lament neither for the dead nor the living or the dead. It means don't lament. So those who are intelligent, those who are a good student, they should come in time and they should stay back even after the class. So that means what? Come in time and stay after the class also. Don't immediately run out. So that's the what happened? No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about in general.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that when Sri Krishna is saying, those who are wise lament neither for the dead. No, that means you are wise. You must be wise and you should not lament. That's the instruction. Correct? No? Yeah, do not worry. Do not lament. Now, Lord is the last instruction of Bhagavad Gita. That is 18.66. Open 18.66. That is the last instruction. That is the last instruction. Of course, Gita is, there is not last verse of Gita, but the last instruction of Gita. 18.66.
Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions, and do not fear.
So what is the instruction here?
Abandon everything and surrender to Krishna.
That is true, but then what will happen by that? You should not
Fear.
fear. And fear, if you see the meaning, what is it? Worry. Shucha. So, ma shucha. Shucha. Worry means lament. Shucha. Shucha means actually lament. So he's translating worry and he's writing fear, but actually do not lament. So the first instruction and the last instruction of Bhagavad Gita is actually telling Arjuna, Krishna is telling Arjuna that do not fear. And of course, how you should not fear? By taking shelter of me. When you take shelter of me, you will not fear. You don't have to fear. So basically, Krishna is telling the first instruction and last instruction about do not lament. Give up your lamentation. Take my shelter, give up my lamentation. So this is the sum and substance of Bhagavad Gita. The whole Gita is meant for this purpose, to drive away our lamentation by taking shelter of Krishna. You getting this point? Because same instructions are coming from both. On the second instruction, he is telling the way also, how to get free from the lamentation. That is, take shelter of me. So the conclusion of all the talk is take shelter of me. And by that, do not lament. You don't have fear. And same way, in the very beginning also he said, do not lament. You should not lament. That means the whole Gita is the book about helping you to come out of your lamentation and why to, how to do it? By taking shelter of Krishna. Is this point clear? And this is what he explains in the very first purport also, right? He says in the first purport, if you see, he says, Lord Krishna can dissipate the lamentation of the ignorant man, and for this purpose, the Bhagavad Gita was sung by him. It's written in the first purport of the first verse also. Same thing written there also. Correct, Robert Prue? First purport of the first verse, he says also the same thing there.
That was Visraj too.
Yeah, no. First purport of the first verse of second chapter. In the purport it comes that the purpose of this Gita is to help one to get off his lamentation. That. And then Krishna starts talking about the knowledge of soul. Then Krishna tells. So I'll not go to in detail, we'll just read the purport because you can read it at your leisure. But he's talking about the knowledge of soul. So two ways he will talk about soul. I will share with you. One thing he talks about, soul is indestructible. Okay. Yeah, do not grieve. Okay, I told you. Purpose of the text is to free humanity from the lamentation gate. Okay. This I told you. So he says, first is about soul exists. So first thing Krishna says about soul exists. You're not only body, there is soul also exists. So soul first exists. That is first knowledge. And then second knowledge is, and that soul is indestructible also. It cannot be burned by fire and electricity, everything he says. So first he talks about there is a soul beyond the body. Body not only all, soul exists first. Second thing is, and this soul is eternal, indestructible. Fire, weapon, nothing can destroy this soul. Both things he explains, right? And another thing is here, see, if you want to defeat somebody, there are two ways to defeat the person. The first way to defeat is the person what? You attack his weakness and you defeat. Like say, I asked you a question from Chaitan Chatamita. Let's say you have not read it. Or you can say I'm weak at it, let's say. Or you ask me a question about, say, what is your finance strategy? Huh? CFA. You ask me a question about CFA. It's my weak point. It's a very big subject of mine. Then you can just defeat me. Just attack on my weakness. Ask me question from that. Or whatever I know, let's say I know Bhagavad Gita, you ask me question like, Prabhu, बताओ 3.36 का purport में क्या लिखा? You ask like this, what is written in 3.36 purport? Tell me. Some tough question you ask me like that, or something, you ask very tough question. Whatever I'm good at, you ask me there, toughest question, then you can defeat me. You getting, no? Both ways you can defeat me, right? So here, Arjuna's greatest, Arjuna's strongest argument was, what the strongest argument was? How can I kill Dronacharya and Bhishma Pitama? That was his strongest argument. Whatever, but they are my respectable superiors, my guru and grandfather. How can I kill them? That was the strongest argument. So Krishna is attacking on the strongest argument. What is saying? They cannot be killed. You are saying that how can I kill? They cannot be killed. Understood, no? Because their soul, they're not the body. Got this point? Like suppose some batsman, he is very fearful of short pitch ball. So one way is that you just put bouncer. That we can defeat him. Your weakness, no? Correct, no? So that's a strategy word. But Arjuna is not, but Krishna is not doing that. Krishna is attacking the strongest point. Yeah, strongest point is how can I kill Dronacharya and Bhishma? And he's saying, they are soul. What are you talking? They cannot be killed. You get this thing? So Krishna is just answering. But the other thing is, Krishna is not, giving the reasons for fight. See, when he's talking about the knowledge of soul, that is not the reason of fighting. Because yes, when you know that, they are not the body, they are soul, correct? So that doesn't mean that gives you the license of fighting. When Krishna is saying to Arjuna that they are not Bhishma, Drona and all of them, none of them are body, they're soul. So just because they are soul, can you kill them? If that is the case, then we can say, oh, fine. Then all terrorists will say, now we have got the license. Gita says, we are not the body or soul. Time, kill. You are not the body or soul. Puru, no? Pula, you are not the body or soul. Just kill everyone. Gopal, you are not the body or soul. Nothing happened. So we cannot do that, right? So Krishna is not giving this knowledge that you are not the body or soul for the purpose of convincing Arjuna to fight. That's what he is telling this knowledge of that you are not the body or soul to pacify Arjuna. I will tell you the reason later. You have to kill them. That you have to do. The reasons I will tell you later. But right now, Krishna is trying to pacify. Okay, even if you have to kill them, they're not going to be killed. Because they're soul. You understand? No? So that way Arjuna will be pacified. Yeah, actually I'm not killing them. Well, they are not be killed. They are still going to exist. Is this point clear? Yeah. So he's not giving the reasons for fighting, but he's giving pacifying. He's pacifying Arjuna. That actually they're not be killed. Don't worry. So when somebody is aggrieved, no, especially some near and dear one has died, some death has happened. So one of the way to pacify them is to give them the knowledge of soul. It's called Atma Vidya, Adhyatma Vidya. When you give them Adhyatma Vidya, the knowledge of soul, then they can be pacified. Because they know they have not died. They're still there. Correct? Like Hiranyakashipu, when Hiranyaksha's wife were so much lamenting about the death of his husband, Hiranyaksha. The Hiranyakashipu told all the Bhabi, her brother and sister-in-law, that how the soul is eternal. He talked about that point. And he told the temporary nature of this world and how everybody has to leave. All that he spoke many things. Right? So then they were pacified. So this is one of the way you can pacify somebody who's aggrieved by giving the knowledge of soul. Really pacified, like that. So but it's not the license to kill, that is for sure. It's not the license to kill. So you can read this thing now. 1 minute. Yeah. So just Robert, can you just read quickly all the translations? Never was there a time. Never was there a time.
Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. In the Vedas.
So the point is that we are all eternal, no? So that
Hmm.
means it's not that we are individual now, and after we attain perfection, then we merge with God. Some people think like that. I will become one with God. I will become God. That is foolishness. You can never become God. Because you are eternal now, you remain eternal. Later, eternally, you are individual being always. I am, you are you. We always remain eternal. And we always remain individual. When we attain perfection, then we don't have inability. We are in our spiritual form and we have our spiritual activities. But we still remain eternal spiritual being. Correct, no? So liberation does not mean merging. Liberation means getting freed from all this materialistic propensities, this material body. And then we have eternal, pure spiritual activities in love with God. But we don't merge with God. We don't become one with God. That we have to be very clear. That's what he's saying. The Mayavadi theory, that after liberation, the individual soul separated by covering of Maya or religion, merge into the impersonal Brahman. That is wrong. And lose its individual existence is not supported here by Lord Krishna. Krishna is not supporting that. So you always remain individual. This point is clear here. Correct. That's what he says. So they always will exist. Next verse. As the embodied soul.
As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to adult to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a thing.
So sober person is not bewildered by such a thing because we are changing our bodies and we are not body, we are soul. So we will not get bewildered by that change. Next verse.
O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer season. They arise from sense perception, O scion of Bharata and
Ocean of Bharata.
Ocean of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed.
So read the purport.
In the proper discharge of duty, one has to learn to tolerate non-permanent appearances and disappearances of happiness and distress. According to Vedic injunction, one has to take his bath early in the morning, even during the month of Magha, January to February. It is very cold at that time, but in spite of that, a man who abides by the religious principles does not hesitate to take his bath. Similarly, a woman does not hesitate to cook in the kitchen in the month of May and June, the hottest part of the summer season. One has to execute his duty in spite of climatic inconvenience. Similarly, to fight is the religious principle of Kshatriya, and although one has to fight with some friend or relative, one should not deviate from his prescribed duty. One has to follow the prescribed rules and regulations of religious principles in order to rise up to the platform of knowledge, because by knowledge and devotion only can one liberate himself from the clutches of Maya.
Yeah, so we will leave it here. Another thing. Next verse.
O best among men, Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness, distress, steady in both, and certainly eligible for liberation.
Yeah, anyone who is studying determination for the advanced of spiritualization can equally tolerate the onslaughts of distress and happiness, is certainly a person eligible for liberation. Okay. And then he gives example that how, you see here. Lord Chaitanya took sannyas at the age of 24. What's your age? 20? You're 24?
No,
19. Oh. So Lord Chaitanya took sannyas at the age of 24. Renunciation. Such a young age, right? And his dependents, young wife as well as old mother, had no one else to look after them. Yet for a higher cause, he took sannyas. Who? Lord Chaitanya, for higher cause. Sannyas means renounced order. And was studying the discharge of higher duty. This is a way of achieving liberation from material bondage. So he says this one also. In the Varnashram, the four stages of life, namely the renounced order, is painstaking situation. But one who is serious about making his life perfect surely adopts the sannyas order of life in spite of all difficulties. This difficulty usually arises from having to sever family relationships, to give up the connection of wife and children. But if anyone is able to tolerate such difficulties, surely his path to spiritual realization is complete. So Arjuna is, so similarly in Arjuna's discharge of duties as a Kshatriya, he is advised to persevere even if it is difficult to fight with his family members or similarly beloved persons. Correct, that way, sir. You are hearing, Gopal Bose? Can you underline that? So this point is clear. So now I want to tell one thing, and this one is telling about, no. So appearance of happiness and distress is very, very temporary. So now something which is, appearing very distressful for you, is it going to be permanent? No. Even you get, like when I was coughing last year, too much of cough. I thought it is just going to remain with me because it was not going on. You saw me, that time. So much. For months I was coughing. Was coughing like anything. So then the doctor, I went to a doctor and I told doctor, I'm always coughing. And will it ever get cured? I asked. He said, it will get cured, don't worry. I told, no, but it's not getting cured. She said, no, it can't remain all forever. She said, it can't remain forever. Something like that. I forgot. Then I was thinking, no, it looks like it's never going to get cured. And Muktavinder Prabhu also was talking. He said, I told him, will it ever get cured? He said, come on, it will get cured. But you feel like it's never, no? So any problem you get, no, you have to always remember one thing. Any problem of life is not permanent. It's going to go away. It's just a matter of time. So one should not waste time to too much worry about the problem because it's going to go away anyway. So you save that time to cultivate Krishna consciousness. Keep doing your duty in Krishna consciousness. Correct, no? So don't wait. Don't too much worry about the problem, because it's anyway going to go away. Or sometimes you too much worry, too much try to do, still doesn't go because that is you have to face that. So instead of breaking our head, you better tolerate it and go ahead with your duties in life. So focus on your duties of Krishna consciousness. That one should. The example is given, the mother has to cook in the kitchen. Now she cannot too much demand, have to get AC in the kitchen and this and that, to get all that may be very challenging. You continue cooking. After some time, summer will pass, winter will come. Correct, no? But too much waste time and all that, you only will be at loss. Unnecessary time waste will happen. So that's why one can focus on his duties than too much trying to worry about the problem or trying to solve the problem. So one should focus on the duties, what he can do on Krishna consciousness. Correct? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. You're from where, sir?
I'm from Canada.
Achha, you're visiting from Canada? Oh.
That's it.
Yeah, I was wondering, are you Indian or Canadian or American? Yeah. Where, and you're just visiting this place. You're a devotee? You chant how many rounds? Which are not chanting. But you visit that Toronto temple?
Yeah.
Or Vancouver? Where? Toronto. Good, very nice. How many days you are going to be here?
2 more.
2. So we have today 6 hours of Gita talk and tomorrow again 5-6 hours. So you can attend both the days. Tomorrow you're coming?
Maybe Sunday,
We'll see.
Tuesday.
Thank you.
No, you can hear. If you have time, you can come. So we are doing it from morning 10:30 till probably like 5-6 p.m.
Thanks.
Hare Krishna. So another thing here, see this, he's tolerating, one has to tolerate, right? All this happiness, distress, which is coming, because it's temporary. It's there today, gone tomorrow. Happiness also, you're happy for some time, then that also goes away. So he says, when you do that, but why you should tolerate this? The person is not disturbed by happiness and distress and study in both, then you become eligible for liberation because you continue duties in Krishna consciousness. So you tolerate the happiness and distress, basically dualities. See, this world has a lot of dualities. What are the dualities in this world? Scott, what are the dualities? Happiness, distress, what else? Good, bad, what is victory, defeat, loss, gain, good mood, bad mood. So many things, right? This will happen. Insult, praise, all will happen. So these things will continue. Financial loss, financially wealthy, whatever. So these things will keep fluctuating. But what he's saying is one should tolerate this duality and focus on service of Krishna. Still keep chanting, keep reading, keep distributing books. No? Some misunderstanding will happen sometimes, but many things will happen. So, but one can continue. But one can continue doing his devotional service. Correct? So when you do that, then you can get liberation. So now, what point I was trying to tell you, I told you before also, that every value should have a purpose. So here the 15th verse, I mean the 14th verse talking about tolerate, happen distance. But tolerate for what? The higher purpose is to attain Krishna, to get liberated, to go back to Godhead. So with that purpose, we can tolerate these temporary troubles. Correct, no? So in any service you take, there will be some difficulty. Any service you take. No? There will always be some challenge. But we should tolerate that for what? For the sake of liberation, for the sake of attaining love of God. So tolerance should be with a purpose. That's what I'm trying to say.
Explanation is now still attacking that first point, right? Bhishma.
He's not giving the reasons. In
But
one sense.
still explaining that first.
He's specifying, right? The all knowledge of soul is specifying. Because pain is there, no? Somebody is dying. So it is painful. Sorry, good point you did it. So now Krishna gives the knowledge of soul. So we are having this Bhagavad Gita discussion. If you have time, you can just listen for some. Like we are just having a discussion on Bhagavad Gita. You are from where? You're just visiting here. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, good. He's your son?
Yeah.
Oh, what's your name? Abhir. And is your daughter?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, it's in second standard now.
yeah, he is.
Second year. And you are in eighth.
Yeah.
So clear. You are in seventh. Eighth? Okay. I don't know you. I know them. That's okay. And you are in which grade? You are in which grade?
Oh, I'm in this grade. I don't know.
Your father is in which grade? See, it's not good. See, he has put you in the school and you have to study a lot, but he himself is not doing that. See, not good, no? He should also go to school and have some, some troubles of homework and assignments. And correct? Yes, no? He's free. So he's not doing anything. He's not going to school. He should also go, no? Yeah, in second grade. You have to be in second grade to solve his problem. Okay. You both are in second and eighth grade because you have to be with them to solve all. Okay. Hare Krishna. What's your name?
Mohit.
Mohit. Thank you. Anavyukt. And your name is? Okay. Hare Krishna. So, yeah, so soul now, he gives the example of soul, but think about it. He just told that you're not the body or soul. But the second verse he's telling about tolerate the happiness and distress. Why is saying that? If you're not the body or soul, then just be happy, no? Why you have to, why Krishna has to tell you have to tolerate, all this dualities and all. If you're not the body or soul, nothing is happening to your body. Why you are having trouble? Somebody may say. Why? Yes, we know that just by getting the knowledge you're not the body or soul, it's not like you're on the platform of soul. So it takes time. So he is telling that as a practicing devotee, you will still have troubles due to dualities. You will have troubles. Why? Because we are not on the realized platform of soul. We have got the knowledge that I'm not the body of, I'm the soul, but we are not realized it fully. So we will have still some troubles. So while having those troubles, when we are not yet realized, we are in the process, tolerate it and focus on your spiritual duties. Gradually, you'll come to the realized platform, that is liberation. You getting this point, no? That's the sequence. So giving the knowledge, but Krishna knows we are not at that level. So continue tolerating happiness and distress. Focus on Krishna conscious duties, and that will lead to liberation. You'll come to the realized platform. Getting this point? No? So I think I'll pause here. We'll take a quick break. We'll come at 2:15 to start, and then we'll have till 6 p.m. Please. Otherwise, I cannot cover everything.
Yeah.
Please, Prabhu.
I'll be here, but I'll listen on.
Please, Prabhu.
I will
So
try
please
to-
join at 2:15. We are giving a short break till 2:15. So please join. Robert, you can join?
Yeah, I'll be back in. Stay on the
Yeah,
call.
2:15. I'll give a pause.
All right, great.
Okay. Hare Krishna.